Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Alongside Tyler Henry, I'm Colin Casey, and this afternoon, Harwich Mariners will take on the YD Red Sox here at Red Wilson Field, a team that the Mariners beat last time out. And this afternoon, Tyler, we have actually the same pitching matchups. It'll be John Beller taking on Jordan Butler. And last time out, Beller, who had a really good season going up until this recent start on July 8th against the Mariners, got roughed up a little bit, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. So do you expect him to come back with maybe a little bit different of an approach to the Harwich Mariners lineup this time?
I mean, he certainly might, but for the Harwich Mariners, this is a guy that they've been able to go out and get, and I think they're going to jump on him early again, as that was something that they did a good job of, just kind of working themselves deep into counts and then finding a way to get on base. It was a really good day all around for the Harwich offense, as they were able to strike for 4 runs and a 4-2 victory. And on the other side, Jordan Butler put up a phenomenal performance for the Harwich Mariners en route to that victory. He's on the bump today as well, as you mentioned. So, you know, the same 2 pitchers, very similar lineups. We'll see whether or not things shake out differently, but Harwich out here looking for another big-time win and trying to bolster their season here as they still sit just a half a game behind the Brewster Whitecaps in the Eastern Division.
All right, let's take a look at the Harwich Mariners lineup, as leading things off is a speedster out of Texas Tech University, center fielder Dylan Noisy. Batting second and playing right field is LSU's Daniel Cabrera. Batting third and playing first is Nico Cavadas, the league leader in home runs. Christian Fedko will bat cleanup out of UConn and play second. Mike Ludwig, the designated hitter, will bat fifth and be the designated hitter in this one. Joey Weimer, the left fielder, will bat sixth. Pat Winkle, the catcher out of UConn, will bat seventh. And Riley Tirado will make his debut for the Harwich Mariners, the former YD Red Sox, as he will bat eighth and play third. And Hal Hughes, the shortstop out of LSU, will bat ninth. And on the mound, of course, is John Beller, who this season has a 1-1 record, a 3.05 ERA in 4 games, 3 starts through 7 2/3 innings. He has struck out 20 batters while only walking 4. So a guy who likes to pound the strike zone a lot, and he will be greeted by Dylan Noisy to kick off today's ball game.
Yep, and a couple of those walks came against the Harwich Mariners, so we'll see whether their patience can pay off once again here.
Beller's first pitch is swung on and missed by Noisy, and we're underway.
Yep, Noisy jumping at the first pitch that he saw, so clearly trying to jump on a fastball. That's what he got, just swings a little bit under it and falls behind here to start the count.
0-1 from Beller, and that one is fouled straight back. The Mariners playing this game start time of 5 o'clock. It's actually going to end up being this is the second in as many games that have started this early, and then 2 days from now the Mariners will head to Brewster and play another 5 o'clock game. So a lot of early start times during this stretch of the schedule for the M's, as the 0-2 is a breaking ball that misses low.
Well, and that's what you come to expect here as you go you're deeper into the schedule, going to play more Eastern teams, and 2 of the 4 that Harwich has to go up against don't have lights on their field. Of course, Stony Brook out in Brewster and Red Wilson here at YD.
Beller, the big lefty out of USC, as Noisy fouls pitch off to stay alive at 1-2.
Yep, and he's done a good job fighting things off here so far. See if he can work his way back into the at-bat and find a mistake pitch out of John Beller, who left a couple of fastballs up in the zone to this Harwich lineup about a week ago.
Another 1-2. That one hit hard on the ground to second. Noah Campbell makes the play, and the throw on to first is in time to retire Noisy. So 1 up, 1 down to begin the ball game.
Yep, and that'll bring up Daniel Cabrera, who has been working his way through a pretty good patch of his own season here, one of the more consistent hitters, and just doing a good job finding his way on base. If it hasn't been via a hit, it's been via a walk, and we'll see whether he can continue that as the first lefty in the lineup here for the Harwich Mariners. Will face off against John Beller.
Cabrera's had a couple of 4 RBI games on the season, so we've seen him produce in bunches as the first pitch misses low and outside.
Yep, and he was able to reach base 3 times back in the first meeting between these two here at Red Wilson Field. Found his way on with a couple of singles and a walk the last time these two met here at Red Wilson.
1-0, and Cabrera chases that one in the dirt. Beller going to the off-speed there to even things up.
Yeah, we'll see what Beller comes with here, and he's really trying to establish the fastball here early on and try to get ahead of guys. Here it's a 1-1 count to Cabrera, so see how aggressive they elect to be here.
Cabrera, the Louisiana native as well from River Ridge. The 1-1. And he swings and misses at another pitch low, so Beller really exploiting that bottom half of the strike zone and beyond.
Yeah, and taking a lot off of that pitch as he kind of grooved him in off speed. That one low and away, and kind of sitting back expecting a fastball was Cabrera.
The 1-2 pitch, and there's a chopper foul. So Beller went 4 innings in that last start. Ended up getting the only loss of the season. His only win coming against Bourne, his best outing of the year. 5 innings pitched, just the 1 hit allowed back on June 24th. The 1-2 is sliced foul off to the left.
Yep, and Cabrera's turning this into a lengthy at-bat. This will be the 7th pitch that he's seen here with a 1-2 count. So just trying to stay in there and battle against John Beller, and Beller doesn't really have that marquee strikeout pitch. That's something he struggled with against the Harwich Mariners the last time he faced off against them. He was able to get just 4 strikeouts.
1-2, a check swing in the dirt, and appeal, and third base umpire says that he held up. Cabrera actually had a 7-game hitting streak snapped yesterday with an 0-for-4 against Bourne. So he's been seeing the ball pretty well as of late. He's raised his on-base percentage to .384. 2-2 is lined into right field, and that is going to be a fair ball down the line. Cabrera will take the turn and head for second. Here comes the throw, and it's not going to be nearly in time, and Daniel Cabrera with a 1-out stand-up double in the top of the first.
It's a good way to get things started here for Harwich, and here comes Nico Cavadas trying to drive him in, and boy, how well has that duo played this season, hitting back-to-back in the lineup. It doesn't matter where they've hit, whether it's been 1-2, 2-3, or 3-4. Those two have gotten it done all season long, and here comes part 2 as Nico Cavadas stands in with Daniel Cabrera once again in scoring position.
Cavadas with another RBI chance. It seems like there's been a ton of them over the last week for him. Was held hitless yesterday, but he did reach base via a walk while striking out twice against the Bourne Braves. Beller looks in, working from the stretch for the first time, and his pitch skips in for ball 1.
A good block there by Noah Cardenas, and got to be careful with a lot of speed out there on second base for Daniel Cabrera. The pass ball is going to allow him to move up to third here with the chain link fence at Red Wilson Field, so plenty of room here if he can find his way to be 90 feet away. Christian Fetko standing on deck, and Ludwig standing in the hole right now with 1 away.
The 1-0, and out in front of that one is Cavadas, the big lefty out of Notre Dame, swings and misses to even the count 1-1.
Yeah, and keeping things off speed and well out of the zone. We've seen Cavadas get fewer and fewer good pitches to try to turn on here as guys have kind of stopped challenging him during the latter part of the season.
Beller looks in, and the pitch. Another swing and a miss, so Beller looking to record a huge out with a go-ahead run early in the game, standing on second base and a big-time power bat at the plate.
Yeah, he was able to get Cavadas looking in the second inning the last time he pitched against Harwich.
Decent lead-off second from Cabrera. Does a little head fake before the throw home, and that pitch will miss outside 2-2.
Yeah, may have thrown his balance off there, not fully focused up on Cavadas, who's battled back here to make it a 2-2 count, and being pretty protective of the plate here as he knows John Beller's going to have to put something relatively close. May have one more pitch here to give him, or to get him a chase.
Cavadas has been in the lineup a lot as of late, just missing 1 game in the last 10 played by the Mariners. The 2-2. Breaking ball swung on a miss, strike 3. Cabrera will break down to first. They're going to send the runner to tag at first, and a smart play by Daniel Cabrera to move up to third with 2 away, and now Christian Fedko will get an opportunity to drive in Daniel Cabrera in the top half of the first.
It's about the only way you can make a strikeout productive for your team, but Nico Cavadas finds a way as that one goes down in the dirt. And yeah, heads up play by Cabrera. As soon as that ball is thrown, he's got the speed that he was going to be able to make it down to third. So Whitey cuts their losses, and Harwich has the go-ahead run here just 90 feet away as Christian Fedko, the cleanup hitter today, stands in for his first at-bat.
Fedko, 5'11", 200 pounds out of UConn. We've seen him play second base, and occasionally they've kept his bat in the lineup in the designated hitter spot. Beller comes set, Cabrera on third. And the first pitch will miss outside.
Well, Fedko hasn't had an actual day off since July. The 2 games where his bat wasn't in the lineup. He was used as a pinch hitter at one point or another, so he's been one of the more consistent pieces in this Harwich lineup. It seems like Cabrera, Cavadas, and Fetko, the three guys that find their way in there every single day.
Homer and 8 RBIs on the season for Christian. Go along with 10 runs scored. And that fastball missed just above the letters.
Yeah, 2 of those RBIs were awfully timely ones as Harwich was able to get their only victory of the year over the Brewster Whitecaps, courtesy of a 2-run single for Christian Fetko after giving up a 3-run lead on a 3-run home run. So he's been clutch for this team so far this year with a 2-0 count. He's looking to find his way on base with Mike Ludwig, the DH, standing on deck.
2-0 misses high, 3-0, and despite how clutch Christian Fetko has been in terms of driving in runs, it's been a while since he's driven in his last run. I think you'll have to go back towards the beginning of the month to see the last time he was able to bring home a run. But he's got an opportunity here, a 3-0 count, Cabrera on third. We'll see if Beller opts to put him on with Mike Ludwig on deck. The 3-0. And that ball just misses for ball 4, not by much. Fetko will head down to first for a 2-out walk.
And I don't think Fetko thought that that one missed either, as he kind of stood there and waited for the next pitch to come in. He just had the bat on the shoulder, but he kind of has a little startled, puzzled look on his face. He'll toss the bat over, and it's going to be runners at the corners here for Mike Ludwig, 2 away.
Just the 5th walk surrendered this season by John Beller. And so Ludwig will get an opportunity. Mike Ludwig out of Wake Forest, one of several players that was on this roster originally. Still 3 of them remaining, including Ludwig, Chris Lanzilli, and Antonio Menendez. First pitch is swung on a miss, strike 1 to Ludwig.
Yeah, and 2 of the walks that he had earlier this season came against the Harwich Mariners, so over half of his walks on the entire season for John Beller have come here against this Harwich lineup.
Ludwig hitting .250 on the season as a pickoff move to first.
That one kind of skids away for a brief moment from Samuelson. You see Cabrera take a few steps down the line. Not that he would take off on that, but plenty of speed over there, and all it would take would be one mistake here to score him hit home.
Mariners wearing their traditional navy blue road uniforms. Red Sox in all white and red trim. 0-1 is hit hard on the ground up the middle. A tough play, but ranging to his right is Young. He's got it, and he makes a nice throw on to first to end the inning. So the Mariners strand a couple in the top of the first. It'll be YD's turn when we come back. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners YouTube Network.
Would like to remind you that this is a tobacco-free ballpark. Additionally, the Massachusetts Education Reform Act prohibits the use of any tobacco products at this location. Also, cameras and video cameras are permitted inside Red Wilson Field for personal photos that cannot be used to reproduce the game, players, or on-field events without the express written permission of the YD Red Sox team.
Also,
Back here once again at Red Wilson Field. Jordan Butler getting his second start of the season, and both those starts coming against the YD Red Sox. But Tyler Butler really enjoyed pitching against this YD Red Sox lineup last time.
yeah, it was one of his best outings on the season and one of the better outings here during a really good week for the Harwich Mariners, as he was able to go 5 innings, get 5 strikeouts to only 1 walk, gave up just the 1 run en route to that 4-2 victory for the Harwich Mariners.
So Wyatt Young will lead things off. Left-handed hitting shortstop takes first pitch for a called strike. Young is second in the entire CCBL in batting average, trailing just Zach DeLoach for the batting crown. And the 0-1 misses just outside.
Yeah, but he's been awfully patient this year as well. He's willing to take a walk if he needs to. So a guy that's going to be tough to pitch to here, but Jordan Butler more than up to the task here in his second game against the YD Red Sox.
1-1, and that one will miss. Butler out of University of Florida, Corey Acton's teammate. The 2-1. There's a ground ball to first. Cavadas will glove it. He'll take it on over to the bag himself. One away to begin the home half of inning number 1.
Yeah, and for as good as this YD lineup has been performing all season long, it seems like they've gotten better and better as time's gone on, as that's kind of been the report that we've gotten. At one point, it was a top-heavy lineup. It was the top 4 or 5 guys that were really performing, but now it seems like everybody's been able to kind of get on the ball, and that's made for a very scary team here in YD.
So that'll bring up Brad Beasley out of Cal Poly, and he rips a shot through the left side of the infield past the diving glove of Hal Hughes for a 1-out single. So Beasley squaring that ball up pretty well, and he's got a runner on base now to bring up Austin Wells, the second most home runs in the entire CCPL with 6.
Yeah, and it was actually a game where Nico Cavadas entered trailing him by 1 home run and exited ahead of him by 1. So the 3 home run game for Cavadas put him on top, and I'm sure Wells would love a chance to potentially reclaim his lead here, or at least tie it back up with Cavadas.
Butler's first pitch to Wells, and he gets him out in front for strike 1. Wells and Cavadas both tied in RBIs this season with 22. So, 2 guys that really know how to drive in runs for their team. Decent lead off first from Beasley. The 0-1 is hit on the ground to first, and it gets past Cavadas for a single. Beasley will round second and head to third, and he's in easily. So it'll be runners at the corners with 1 man out, and the cleanup man Noah Campbell digging in.
Yeah, and that ball wasn't hit all that hard, but it just found the little space in between Nico Cavadas and Christian Fedko as Cavadas was holding on holding on Beasley over there at first. So with 1 away here, runners are at the corners, but the infield will go to double play depth and try to find a way to double off Noah Campbell, who is the ever dangerous cleanup hitter here for the YD Red Sox.
Campbell hitting .278 on the season, 3 home runs, and 14 RBIs. Butler's first pitch to him is over for a called strike. Campbell out of South Carolina. Gamecock, a rising junior. Looking to give his team an early lead in the bottom of the first. 0-1 is hit in the air out towards shallow center. In comes Noisy, dives, he can't get there. In comes the runner, Beasley, and it's an RBI single for Noah Campbell. The Red Sox lead at 1-0.
Yeah, good effort there by Noisy, and even if he had been able to secure the ball, it seems like that run probably would have come across to score. So it will go down as an RBI single here for Noah Campbell, and the Mariners have fallen behind here for the 12th time this season.
So now Jake Palmer will get a chance, the UC Irvine product. He's seen some action this year against the Harwich Mariners. I believe he was a starter in the first matchup between these 2 teams at White House Field, where the Red Sox took that one 3-1. But Palmer with a chance to extend the lead further. He'll show bunt, and he will offer at it for strike 1.
Yeah, good job by Butler going to the fastball there with an 0-1 count, and he's gotten Jake Palmer behind here. Actually, it is still an 0-1, so trying to work his way out of some trouble here. Runners on second and third, or first and second, still just 1 away in the inning.
Wells on second, Campbell on first. Butler's 0-1. That's on the inside corner for strike 2, and Jake Palmer shakes his head in disgust.
And boy, I'll tell you what, he's really been doing a good job painting the corners and switching things up between the fastball and the changeup, 2 of his deadlier pitches. Haven't really seen him break the curveball out too often so far in this game, but that 2-set pitch has been working really well here for Jordan Butler through the early parts of this one.
Look over at Wells at second, now the 0-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, so pretty big out number 2 as Butler gets Palmer to chase one. That'll bring up Riley King with 2 on and 2 away.
Yep, that'll be a strikeout here, and that's 2 outs for the Mariners in the inning, sandwiching 3 singles for the Whitey Red Sox. So it'll be Riley King standing in here in the 6th hole, trying to bring home a few more runs for his team. It's a 1-0 lead here for the Whitey Red Sox, and King's got a pretty good shot here to add on to his 8 RBIs this season.
King out of the University of Georgia. First pitch to Butler is hit in the air pretty well out towards right field, but Daniel Cabrera just has to take a couple of steps back and make the catch for out number 3. So YD is able to strike first on the RBI single from Noah Campbell. We're through 1 here at Red Wilson Field. It's YD 1, Harwich nothing. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back. Top of the 2nd from White House Field as the Harwich Mariners look to get back the run that they had given up. Jordan Butler unable to keep the YD Red Sox from scoring after they got a couple of 1-out singles, 3 in a row that ended up plating that first run in Brad Beasley. So now John Beller will head out and try to keep that 1-0 lead. And Tyler, he didn't have a lead the last time these two teams played, so maybe things will turn out a little bit differently now that this team is struck first.
Yeah, I mean, he'll try to get he gets some run support here. Now he'll try to hold it against a Harwich team that he gave up quite a few hits to the last time around. Then here comes Joey Weimer, who hasn't actually started a game in quite some time. The last time he was in the starting lineup came back against the Orleans Firebirds, a day that he went 1 for 4 on with a walk. So he's taking some time off here and tried to settle things down a bit, and he'll watch the first pitch. And I think that's the first time we've seen Joey Weimer take the first pitch in quite some time.
Yep, he's definitely one of the more aggressive hitters in this Harwich Mariners lineup, and he will lay off the first pitch outside. Here comes pitch number 2, and this time he's way out in front of an off-speed from Beller, 1-1.
Yeah, not a bad idea there. Tried to jump out on top of it, but just gets his bat a little bit ahead of it. So Weimer trying to break one of the few cold streaks in his entire season. He's been very good all year long, but here in these last 4 appearances, he struggled a little bit.
He'll take a pitch inside, 2-1.
And I think the only time it really stood out was during that Katuitt game that ended up not counting. He was the only guy who didn't find his way on base, but we know the kind of capability he has. Still one of the hottest hitters here in this Harwich lineup all season long. There's a reason he's one of the reserves for the All-Star team.
It's a slow roller to third, fielded cleanly by King. The throw almost pulls off the foot of Tate Samuelson off that first base bag, but he's able to just keep it on, and Weimer is retired for out number 1 in the 2nd.
Yep, awfully close, so that'll bring up Pat Winkle here, and we'll see whether or not Winkle can find his way on. Another lefty here in the lineup for the Harwich Mariners. Was not in the lineup yesterday as Mike Rothenberg got the start. Went 1 for 4 with an RBI single the last time he was in a game.
Breaking balls in for a strike to Winkle. Catcher from Orange, Connecticut, the youngest position player on the roster, the only one born in the 21st century, as he swings and misses and falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, and Winkle, one of the few freshmen on this team as well. This is typically a rising sophomore league, as a lot of guys going from their sophomore year to their junior year, and then a few juniors like Jacob Hurtaby's thrown into the mix, but a very high honor to be here in the league as a freshman.
0-2 misses low, and in large part the reason why he was selected to play in this league is just the big power numbers he had for the UConn Huskies this season.
Yeah, one of the bigger hitters in a lineup that was just loaded with guys who could tear the cover off the ball. 7 home runs for him in 2019 and 38 RBIs.
1-2, and that's on the outside corner for strike 3, so Winkle goes down looking, and Beller picks up his second strikeout of the game, and he will now face his former teammate in Riley Tarota with 2 away in the second.
Yep, Riley Tarata will come up here and try to get something started for the Harwich Mariners. Could be a revenge game here for him. He was actually released here by the YD Red Sox about a week ago. Was picked up by the Harwich Mariners to replace Tyler Keenan. And here he stands in for his first at-bat of the season in a Harwich Mariners uniform, coming against his former team.
First pitch swinging, and it's hit in the air out towards right field, falling quickly. And it comes in and it drops. That ball drops, and Tarata's going to end up at second with a double, as laying out and unable to make the catch is Jake Palmer, and he is slow to get up.
Yeah, never good to see that out there. Palmer gave that everything that he had with the dive, but ended up coming up just short, and he is getting up right now, which is a very welcome sight to see, but looked like he may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him going to the ground. Either way, how about Riley Tarata here on his first hit as a Harwich Mariner? Welcome to the team.
And against, as you mentioned, his former team, no less, so definitely making an impact in his first at-bat. He stands on second with 2 away, and now Hal Hughes, who's been swinging a pretty good bat as of late, will get an opportunity to tie things up for the Harwich Mariners.
Yep, Hughes has been improving more and more with every passing game, it seems, here for the Harwich Mariners, and see whether or not he can drive in the tying run. For the Harwich Mariners, I mentioned they're 2-10 when the opposing team scores first, but the 2 games that they'd come back in, it was just a 1-run deficit, which is currently what this one stands at. So certainly not out of reach here for Harwich, and it's still very, very early here in this game as we're just in the top half of the second inning.
First pitch from Beller misses just below the knees. As Hal Hughes had been struggling for a while, but he's picked up 4 hits in his last 6 games, so he started to see the ball a little bit better. Had a multi-hit game the last time these 2 teams played. And he lines one right off of Beller. He knocks it down with his glove and makes a soft throw over to first to end the inning. So a little bit of self-defense there from John Beller, able to knock that ball down and prevent it from getting through and potentially scoring that first Mariner run. So we're through 1.5 from Red Wilson Field. YD leads Harwich 1-0. You're listening to Harwich Mariners baseball on the Mariners Radio Network.
Their first baseman from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, number 35.
It'll be Tate Samuelson leading things off for the YD Red Sox as they look to pad their 1-0 lead against Jordan Butler. Butler only surrendering 1 run in his entire start the last time he faced the YD Red Sox as Samuelson swings through the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Yeah, and how about the college name? It's quite a mouthful, out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Don't know how they fit that on the front of the jersey. Winkle takes another shot off of his face mask here, deflected off of the bat here of Tate Samuelson.
The last game here wasn't too kind to Harwich Mariners catching, as Mike Rothenberg had taken a shot on a play at the plate by Andrew Eister. Luckily, both players got up and ended up being all right. And Butler delivers the 0-2. It's lined towards the right side, and Nico Cavadas showing off the range, lunging to his left, and he's able to catch that one before it goes down the line for out number 1.
Yeah, his teammates cheered for that one, and why not? Goes from one hot corner to the other, and don't typically see a ball hit that hard towards that side, but he's able to make the backhand stab, and that'll be out number 1 here for the aforementioned Andrew Eister, who stands in as the DH today here for the Red Sox.
And that right there showing the importance of the experience for Cavadas over at third base. He knows you have to have a lot of range to play that position, and it's definitely not an easy position to play first either. As first pitch misses inside to Eister. I remember a quote from the movie Moneyball where Brad Pitt's character, of course, Billy Bean, mentioning to Ron Washington at the time, he said to Scott Hatterberg that playing first is not that hard. He says, tell him, Ron Washington. He goes, it's incredibly hard. The 0-1 misses low to Eister.
Yeah, a lot of people think you just have to stand over there and occasionally, catch a ball for an out. But, boy, you get some balls from lefties that are going to be hit just as hard to you as you're going to get from righties on the other side. And you got to really have a quick glove. Sometimes it's more self-defense than anything, just trying to knock it down.
1-1 is going to be a called strike, so Eister falls behind 1-2. Another South Carolina product, teammates with Noah Campbell. Eister hitting .234 this season with 3 homers, 12 runs batted in, so a little bit of power towards that bottom of the lineup for the YD Red Sox. 1-2 from Butler, and that misses low and outside.
Yeah, Butler's doing a good job of locating here that pitch right where he wanted it, just couldn't quite get him to chase, and we'll see with a 2-2 count whether he's going to come right at Andrew Eister or whether he's going to try to play with him here. He's got one more pitch to waste.
And the 2-2 is in for a called strike 3, so Eister strikes out looking, and that is strikeout number 2 for Jordan Butler, and it's just Noah Cardenas that stands between him and a 1-2-3 second inning.
Yep, and he's working very quickly here. It seems like he's always needed about an inning to kind of get going, does Jordan Butler, but once he settles in, just like putting on a glove and gets right back into it.
So Cardenas out of UCLA, the right-handed hitting catcher. Swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it straight back. Cardenas hitting .240 on the season. Just 2 RBIs, but limited playing time. He's only been in 13 games this season, started 10 of them. 25 total at-bats. Butler back on the mound. And the 0-1. That one will miss outside.
Not by much, and yeah, if you go back to the 6-man rotation that Harwich has between Seckler, Polish, McCullough, Seymour, Menendez, and Zwok, in their last 10 combined starts, they have given up just 9 earned runs and have struck out 52 batters compared to only 15 walks, so Jordan Butler adding on to those numbers as well.
1-1 will miss outside, and this evening it'll be the easternmost team and the westernmost team both getting days off in this one. Wareham and Orleans will get much needed off days, so we have 4 games in action. Of course, this one the only ongoing one starting at 5, everything else at 6 or later. Here's the 2-1. Check swing, but it's going to be strike 2 called, and that'll even things up 2-2.
Yeah, and keep in mind also, this is actually a makeup game, as was the one last Monday here at Red Wilson Field, as these games were originally scheduled to be played earlier this season, but due to weather conditions, they have been played here as makeup games now. So the last 2 weeks, Harwich has been without a single off day, and they won't get one until the All-Star game.
And there's a ball to make it 3-2, and that's going to be pretty much it with the Catuit rainout being scheduled the Monday after the All-Star game, as that's what it was. I was looking over at the schedule today on Point Streak, and that's where they have that game listed. So tentatively, that's pretty much going to be it, at least until I believe they have a Thursday off day after that, and other than that, that's going to be it for the season. But the payoff pitch misses inside to Cardenas, and he'll struck down to first. It's a 2-out walk surrendered by Jordan Butler.
Yeah, so they have Sunday off, as that will be the All-Star game coming up, and then, as you mentioned, the day after that will be the Catuit makeup game, but then that next Thursday will be the only off day of the season. And Harwich is lucky to even have that, because most teams, if they had one off day left to burn, that got taken out by the rain last week, the same game as the Catuit, or same day as the Catuit game, but for teams like Bourne and Falmouth, they've had 0 scheduled off days for the rest of the season since the beginning of July. It's just been one of those years.
Wyatt Young will get his second opportunity. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. He grounded out to Nico Cavadas over at first to begin the home half of the first inning. Young, one of the few guys you see out there choking up on the bat. He leaves a decent amount of space between his bottom hand and the knob. As the 0-1 a check swing, and home plate umpire signals that he did go around, so he falls behind 0-2.
Well, and that could be part of the reason why he's been hitting better here recently. And again, you mentioned one of the more dangerous hitters in the league, but it's really been the last 3 or 4 weeks where he's kind of taken off. So could be something he's kind of added here to his repertoire in the on-deck circle.
He's the shortest player on the YD roster at 5'7". The 0-2 will miss just outside to him.
Yeah, that one looked awfully close. Butler not missing there by much, but again, just trying to paint the edges. That's kind of been his thing all season long, and we'll see whether he can continue working the egg corners to his advantage.
YD Red Sox lead the Harwich Mariners 1-0 here in the home half of the second. The 1-2 runner going, a check swing. That ball's in the dirt as Pat Winkle able to stop it, but Noah Cardenas is able to swipe second, and he is now a runner in scoring position with 2 away.
And Noah Cardenas, a fast catcher, not something you see very often at any level, and he's able to swipe the bag, but more or less defensive indifference as Winkle was more focused about keeping the ball in front of him there.
It's going to be the first steal of the game, or of the season, excuse me, for Cardenas, the 2-2. And that one just misses below the knees, so full count. They do have first base open with a dangerous contact hitter in Wyatt Young at the plate, but then it's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters who all singled off of Jordan Butler back in the first inning. Butler with a long look in. He finally comes set. And the payoff pitch. Misses low for ball 4, so it's back-to-back 2-out walks surrendered by Butler to the 9-1 hitters. So now Brad Beasley will get an opportunity. He's singled and came around to score in his first plate appearance.
Yeah, and they got to be very careful here. Again, they have the 2 outs, so they can get one at any base now, but this is a very dangerous YD lineup, and you're heading now into the thick of things. If you're Jordan Butler, you want to get out of this inning unscathed and give your team a shot to kind of make a bounce back here in the next inning.
Beasley, the righty, digs in, and Butler's first pitch to him misses low and inside. Beasley with 14 runs batted in on the season. It's actually 7 runs batted on the season to go along with 1 home run, as the 1-0 is on the outside corner for a strike.
Yeah, not exactly an RBI machine, but he's been effective when he's needed to be for his team, and now is one of those times. The YD Red Sox still grappling for a spot in the top of the East with the Chatham Anglers, and they sit just 1 game behind a Chatham squad that will face off against the Brewster Whitecaps today.
1-1's in the dirt. So for Butler, he's got the righty and Beasley, followed by the lefty Austin Wells on deck, but really hasn't mattered whether it's a lefty or righty. Austin Wells has just demolished pitching all across the Cape Cod League, so I'm sure Butler with added incentive to get this final out against the hitter up here. And there's a high drive out towards right field. Cabrera sending himself back, but he's able to run it down and make the catch for out number 3. So despite a couple of 2-out walks, Jordan Butler works his way out of the second inning. We're through 2 from Red Wilson Field. It is the Red Sox 1 and the Mariners 0. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network.
Costa del Mar
Top of the third we go from Red Wilson Field. Colin Casey alongside Tyler Henry giving you coverage of the Harwich Mariners all season long. Mariners coming into this game at a 13-16 record, taking on the YD Red Sox at 16-11-2. A couple of teams battling in the East. Harwich right now just a half a game back of the Brewster Whitecaps in terms of that final playoff spot in the East. So this could be a huge divisional game for them as top of the order due up for Harwich. It'll be Dylan Noisy leading things off. And the first pitch that he sees, he watches for a called strike.
Well, in the standings in the East, not something that really mattered during the first month of the season, not something that really mattered during early July, but this is game number 30 here for the Harwich Mariners. They've got just 14 games and 2 weeks left in the season, so every game meaning a little bit more.
Chopper to third, a leaping play by Riley King, and he makes a clean throw on to first. So some good defense from the YD Red Sox. Been accustomed to seeing that this year. They're third in the entire league with a .974 fielding percentage. And Dylan Noisy's retired to kick off the third.
And you know what's been interesting is we've kind of toured around here. We've played against every team in the league, and we've seen every single media team in the league, and I've had a chance to talk to every other broadcaster in the Eastern Division. All of them seem convinced that the Harwich Mariners are going to find a way to make the playoffs. It's just a question of whether or not they can turn the offense on here and, you know, try to put together a little bit of a run here. It feels like they've been a half a game behind Brewster for the last, 2-3 weeks, if not a game behind the Brewster Whitecaps. But, you know, Brewster hasn't helped their own cause and trying to put some distance between the two.
Certainly haven't, as first pitch misses low and outside for ball one. They've been given ample opportunities, especially over the last couple of games, but weren't able to take advantage of one yesterday as they lost to the Wareham Gatemen. The 1-0 is skipped into Daniel Cabrera, who doubled in his first at-bat, and both of the hits that belong to the Harwich Mariners in this one have been doubles, as Riley Terada owns the other. So far, Beller's pitched 2 1/3 clean. He's back on the mound. The 2-0 from John Beller, as the first pitch. Third pitch he throws is in there for a strike.
Yeah, finally dropped one in there, and it seemed like Cabrera was content to try to take ball 3, whether it was an off-speed pitch or not. But that one coming down in the zone and just barely catching the bottom edge.
2-1 to Cabrera. It'll miss just outside, so Daniel Cabrera looking to work a walk and reach base with one away for the second consecutive at-bat.
Well, this is the ideal hitter's count. 3-1, you know you're going to get something probably in the zone unless the pitcher misses his spot. He's got to challenge you with something here.
Here's the 3-1, and it's low for ball 4, so Cabrera will head down to first. He has reached base twice in this one, and now Nico Cavadas will look to break this mini skid he's had at the plate.
Yep, Cavadas will try to find his way on here as he struck out back in the first inning, and yesterday it was an 0 for 3 day, although he did reach on a 2-out walk back in the 7th inning. But the day before that, he more than made up for it with a 3 home run performance, putting together 5 RBIs in that game. So a very, very mini skid, if you will.
First pitch with Cabrera on first is in there for a strike. And Cavadas has really been the way it has gone for the Mariners this season is they go as Nico Cavadas has gone. When he's been hitting the ball so well, they have been an unbeatable team. We'll see if he can continue that success here against YD as Mariners trailing 1-0. Pitch is over for a strike, so Cavadas falls behind 0-2.
Yep, and Cavadas actually had one of the hits that was able to come around and bring home a run in the 4th inning last time the Harwich Mariners played here at White House Field. Red Wilson Field. Boy, I'm all over the place right now.
Decent lead on first for Cabrera. The 0-2 is skipped in. Cabrera takes a step towards first, then thinks wisely of it. Walks back as Noah Cardenas has got a solid arm behind that home plate. So Beller, who had issued just 4 walks all season long coming into this game, has already issued 2 in just 2 1/3 innings. 1-2 misses low, and that'll even the count as Cavadas starting to battle back.
Yeah, he's really trying to get Cavadas to chase another low fastball, as that's the pitch that he was able to get him with back in the first inning to swing at. So Cavadas is a little more patient here. He's worked his way back in the count. It's 2-2 now as John Beller is still looking for a very crucial strikeout pitch against the most dangerous part here of the Harwich batting order.
Look over at first, the 2-2. That'll miss outside 3-2. Cavadas this season, 27 strikeouts to go along with just 7 walks, so patience not his biggest strength, but he could maybe put himself on here and make it back-to-back walks with the cleanup man Christian Fedko on deck.
Oh, with the 3-2 count, you get the feeling Nico Cavadas isn't looking for a pitch to sit back and wait on. He's looking for something that he can maybe take the other way.
Payoff pitch, runner going, misses outside, ball 4, and Cabrera will be safe regardless, so the throwdown does not matter, and it's back-to-back walks issued by John Beller with 1 away in the top of the 3rd.
Yep, a huge opportunity coming up here for Harwich as they've been gifted 2 base runners, and with 1 away, it'll be Christian Fedko trying to find a way to drive one of those in here. Harwich looking for their first runs of the game as still a 1-0 Whitey lead here in the 3rd inning.
Fedko owns the other walk in this game in his first plate appearance. And he has seen a lot more walks recently, as hasn't been getting as many hits lately, but a lot of it is because he hasn't gotten many pitches to hit. That's one thing that John Fedko would talk to us a couple of times about, is that pitchers have kind of changed their approach to Fedko after they realized how much power and how much pop's in that bat from the UConn second baseman. First pitch from Beller to Fedko is over for a strike.
Really good frame there by Noah Cardenas. That pitch missed low, but he's able to snap his glove back very quickly, and falling behind here 0-1 is Christian Fedko.
Fedko's average still respectable, 284. Tied with Joey Weimer for second on the team, trailing the man on second base, Daniel Cabrera. The 0-1 is in for a strike, so once again, Beller with an 0-2 count, but it was an 0-2 count to Nico Cavadas before he threw 4 straight balls and put him on, so let's see if he can finally finish off a Mariner hitter.
Fedko was able to get the pinch hit yesterday as he came into the game in the 9th inning and found his way on base for the Mariners, but other than that, he's been awfully quiet here over the past couple of days with the exception of walks.
0-2, and he's able to fight that one off, foul it straight back.
Yeah, still one of the better batting averages on the team. As you mentioned, I believe it was 298 for Fedko this year.
284.
284, but hitting 390 just 2 weeks ago, and he's seen significant drop-off there. Still one of the most capable hitters here in the Harwich lineup, and it seems like he's kind of been turning things around over the past couple of days. See if he can come up with a timely hit with a runner in scoring position. His team trailing by 1 here, and an 0-2 count on him.
Pitch from Beller is flared out towards shallow center, but a couple of steps back, and the catch is made by Noah Campbell. So there's a big out number 2 recorded by the Red Sox, and now it'll be up to Mike Ludwig to keep the inning alive. The lefty will face the left-handed pitcher, John Beller.
Yep, Ludwig so far today is just 0 for 1. He had the 1 ground out earlier in this one, and he comes into today's game hitting 250. One of the hottest hitters for the Harwich Mariners to start the season.
So Ludwig grounded out to short in his first plate appearance. A lot of space now over at short, with Cabrera being held on at second by Wyatt Young. First pitch from Beller misses outside.
Well, and of course, the double play no longer a concern for the YD Red Sox here with 2 away, so the defense shifts a little bit here, and we'll see whether or not it pays off, as not quite as much real estate to work with here for Mike Ludwig.
Ludwig out of Ashburn, Virginia. Playing just a few, probably a couple hundred miles south at Wake Forest. 1-0 is over for a strike.
Yeah, not really expecting the off-speed pitch, just had to lay off on it as that broke back into the zone. So Beller's able to even the count up here at 1-1. He's played with a little bit of fire here, but has worked himself into a pretty good position here to try to get out of it.
Look over at second by Beller. Here's his 1-1. And it's in the dirt. A nice job by Cardenas to stop that one. And he's had to deal with a lot of balls in the dirt, and so far he hasn't really let anything get by him.
Yeah, we've seen Beller. He likes to work down a lot in the count. And so, a lot of pitches that Cardenas has had to stop, especially with runners on base. And so far, not one has gotten past him. So see whether that streak of luck continues here, as Cardenas' defensive abilities really coming into play here for the Red Sox.
Cabrera at second, Cavadas at first. 2 away. The pitch and a swing and a miss by Ludwig, and that'll even things up 2-2. Noisy had led off the inning with a ground out to third, then the back-to-back walks by Cabrera, Cavadas, and most recently Christian Fedko lined out softly to second. So Beller looking to get out of the inning. He comes set. Here's his 2-2. And it's hit on the ground to short once again. Another chance for Young. The long throw, it's a close play, and he's safe. A great hustle effort by Mike Ludwig, and he lunges and gets to the bag before the throw comes to Samuelson, and that'll load the bases for Joey Weimer.
Yeah, and there was little to no doubt there. Ludwig was able to just leg that one out. How about the speed down the line? Ludwig, not a guy that's typically known for his blazing speed, but he comes up big there, and this is the perfect situation for the Harwich Mariners. It's Joey Weimer with the bases loaded and 2 away.
Looked like Wyatt Young over at short had a little bit of trouble getting that ball out of the glove, so he took his time. Bit of a double clutch, and that made all the difference in the world as Ludwig able to reach base safely, and they're loaded for Weimer. Weimer grounded out to begin the second inning. First pitch he sees is over for a strike, and as you mentioned earlier, Tyler, his first action in a couple of days. You think he's maybe a little hungry to go ahead and send a ball over the fence?
Well, certainly hungry, but more patient, and I think that's what we're going to see out of Joey Weimer here. I don't think he's going to swing for the fence. I think he's kind of settled down a bit, and he's going to try to put this one in play and try to bring a couple runs across here for Harwich.
The 0-1, that one misses up and in.
See, that's the kind of pitch where you typically see Joey Weimer try to go after if he's kind of ramped up a little bit, but he slowed things down a bit. The count is even here at 1-1, and again, he's taken 2 first pitches, one for a strike, one for a ball here to start this outing, so we've already seen more patience out of him today than we have typically all season long.
1-1 from Beller is foul tipped, as both teams recording 3 hits so far, but YD with the 1-0 advantage in the run column thanks to an RBI single back in the first by Noah Campbell. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Weimer, Cincinnati Bearcat. Hitting .284 on the season, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. Beller looks in, comes to the set. The 1-2, and it is fouled off high in the air past the third base side.
Yeah, Beller knows he wants to get a good rip on one here, so he's keeping everything kind of up and in here on Joey Weimer, hoping to get him under 1. But that's the thing with Joey Weimer. Even if you put a pitch down in the zone, he chops the ball so hard with the aggressive swing that sometimes we've seen it get over the pass or get past the outstretched arms of third baseman and shortstops when he pulls it to the left side.
Beller again with the 1-2. And another pop-up. This one heading straight back, going towards the backstop. And Cardenas won't have a play on as it lands in the bleachers just beyond home plate.
Yep, so Weimer lives to fight another pitch here. Of course, Pat Winkle standing in the on-deck circle for Harwich if it comes to that. And again, a perfect situation for one of the 2 guys that has been here since day 1 for the Harwich Mariners when it comes to offensive guys. In terms of guys who were temps, of course, Joey Weimer and Chris Gallen both working their way from temporary contracts to the All-Star game. But here, Weimer's going to be called upon for the Harwich Mariners with the bases loaded and a 1-2 count. He's already fought off 2 pitches.
The pitch, that'll miss outside, and another even count is the Mariners, with a lot of big at-bats kind of taxing the arm of John Beller in this 3rd inning.
Yeah, if nothing else, you get the feeling you're going to find your way into the bullpen for the YD Red Sox, and that's a bullpen that's looked kind of shaky this year at times, one of the higher team ERAs in the league.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with the bases loaded. The pitch from Beller. Line drive, base hit down the left field line. Cabrera scores. Here comes Cavadas. The throw-in is cut off, and it's a 2-run single for Joey Weimer, and the Mariners take the lead 2-1.
Well, there it is. Joey Weimer doing what he does best, and that's drive in runs in timely situations. And again, he didn't crush that ball. He just hits it hard down the third base line, and there's absolutely nothing that Riley King can do about it. The Mariners are back on top 2-1.
The catcher from the University
Mike
of
Ludwig
Connecticut,
will stay at second.
Winkle.
But with 2 home in the inning, the Mariners doing the damage like they did against Beller last time. It only took a couple of runs. The bullpen was able to hammer things down for Harwich. Let's see if they can get some insurance with a guy at the plate, Pat Winkle, who has driven in a ton of runs over his last 10 games, 5 RBIs in his last 10 appearances. First pitch to the lefty is on the outside corner for a strike.
Well, this is a Harwich team that, dating back to June 22nd, they had never won a game that they had trailed in if they did not score the first run, but they were able to bounce back and get the victory against Wareham a few days ago, and here they've rallied back from down by 1, and they now lead by 1, and they could be looking for a few more here.
Fastball misses high, and With that 2-run single, Joey Weimer becomes the second Harwich Mariner this season to reach double digits in RBIs. He's got 10 now on the season. Good enough for second. He was able to pass Daniel Cabrera, who has 9 and now sits third. Beller looking to minimize the damage. 2 on, 2 away, and a 1-1 count. Pitch to Winkle is rolled on the right, down the right side, foul. So things will be moved to 1 and 2.
Yeah, just to put that in perspective for you, the YD Red Sox currently have 5 guys with over 10 RBIs, including Austin Wells with 22 and a whole slew of other guys in the middle-low teens. But Harwich starting to put things together here at the right time of year. And Colin, I don't know about you, but you know, if I'm here on this team, I'd prefer them to put it together at the end of the season than have it at the beginning and kind of trail off towards the end.
Could very well be peaking at the right time as time is granted to the hitter Winkle. He steps out.
I want to just go ahead and bring this up. The pregame interview curse, now that this is kind of out there, and those guys had gone 1 for 21 in those games, including a hit streak snapped, as this is going to be called strike 3. We did not interview Riley Tirada, who was on deck, and he leads things off with a double.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a smile when you started talking about that curse on his face, but side is retired, but not before the Mariners pick up a couple of runs on a Joey Weimer 2-run single. They now lead it 2-1 after 2.5. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network.
Providing the best family entertainment.
2-1 Mariners after 2.5, and Jordan Butler now enjoying himself a lead. And Tyler, he only gave up 1 run against the Red Sox last time, and now he's put himself, or his team has put himself in a more comfortable position out there on the mound.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not he can find a way to continue the good pitching here against YD. And it was Nick Stewart who came in and pitched the last 4 innings of that game, gave up just 1 run himself. So for the Harwich Mariners, they gave up just 2. They'll need more runs if that's going to be a similar trend here. And this is going to be the toughest part of the lineup here, as it will be Austin Wells, Noah Campbell, and Jake Palmer coming up for the YD Red Sox.
First pitch misses up and away for a ball to Austin Wells, who singled in his first plate appearance. Wells with a .311 batting average coming into this game. And that fastball will miss outside, 2-0. Pitch from Butler is hit hard to the right side and past the diving glove of Christian Fedko. Actually, Hal Hughes was the one making the attempt there with a huge shift on for the Mariners, but it's going to be a leadoff single as Wells was able to beat it. And so now Noah Campbell, who owns the only RBI in this one, steps in.
And that's kind of a rarity in and of itself. This isn't a Harwich team that we typically see put the shift on, but clearly with a guy as good as Austin Wells, I mean, they had to give it a shot. Unfortunately, he's able to hit right out of it, and well, he'll be on base here for Noah Campbell with nobody out.
First pitch to Campbell, just below the knees for a ball.
And Colin, this game not going as quickly as our typical Harwich baseball games, which last an average of 2 hours and 28 minutes long, which is the shortest in the league. So we could very well see this game end up getting shortened due to darkness if things continue at the current pace.
1-0 from Butler. It's ground ball to third. This could be 2, and instead it's going to be Riley Tirada going in to throw it on to first and get the sure out at first base. So Noah Campbell's retired, but Austin Wells moves up to second with one away.
Yeah, not a bad idea there. Get the sure out. And I really like what I see out of Tirada there. It was a hard ball that it took an awkward hop there at the end, but he did a good job of just keeping it in front of him. Makes a smooth throw to first, and it's in time for the out. So Jake Palmer will stand in now. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout today, but now hitting with a runner in scoring position, and that represents the tying run for the YD Red Sox over there at second.
Palmer, the lefty, struck out swinging back in the first inning. Decent leadoff second by Wells, and first pitch will miss outside. Palmer with now 9 strikeouts in the season, not a whole lot in 41 at-bats, so he's not really a guy that is a free swinger. He's willing to go up there and try to look for a walk just any way to get on base. The 1-0. That's on the corner for a strike.
Yeah, Nick Stewart, or Jordan Butler still not afraid to attack the strike zone here and gets a 1-1 count on Jake Palmer. And a really big secondary lead over there is being taken by Austin Wells. His primary lead is pretty standard, but the secondary he's getting, I mean, I'd say almost halfway between second and third.
Couple of looks over at first, and a late time has been granted to Palmer, so Butler taking a little bit of time before delivering as Wells had him a little bit distracted over at second.
Chance for both the Harwich Mariners and the Brewster Whitecaps to maybe pick some ground up on an Orleans Firebird squad that, as you mentioned, Colin, is not in action today. So two teams with a chance to pick a few points up and try to etch even closer to them.
There's a big swing and a miss by Palmer as he was way out in front of that pitch. Looked like he was trying to send that one over into the house down the right field line. But instead he falls behind in the count now 1-2. 2 strikeouts so far for Butler as he looks to retire Palmer for the second time via the K. The 1-2. And Palmer just able to stay alive and flare it down the left field line.
Boy,
Foul.
he was way out in front of that one and somehow still able to reach out and just barely get the tip of the bat on that. So he stays alive, as you mentioned, and trying to keep things going here with one away and a runner in scoring position here for the YD Red Sox. Don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get against a team with pitching like Harwich.
Butler to the belt. The 1-2. And that one misses inside as Palmer took a couple of steps back to avoid it. YD scoring their only run in the bottom of the first team to score in the first against the Mariners since Bourne way back on July 5th. So Mariners starters have done a pretty good job of neutralizing the amount of runs given up in the early innings. Butler looking to continue that trend. The 2-2. Misses low and outside, so Palmer able to run the count now full.
Yeah, Bourne also able to take an early lead on Harwich yesterday as they got up 2-0 on Harwich back in the second inning, but the Mariners rallied for one, couldn't get more than that, and ended up coming up on the short end of the stick for a really weird season series with a Bourne Braves team that has not been very great this season, but Harwich comes up short 1-3.
Riley King waits on deck. Wells took a big run off second but retreats. The payoff pitch is hit in the air out towards left field. Joey Weimer comes in, makes a catch. Wells tags up but retreats immediately. And a decent throw from Weimer will keep him at second with 2 away.
Yeah, he would have been smoked. So the pressure's off here for the Harwich Mariners. It'll still be tough with Riley King coming up to bat, but now you just have to focus on getting one here, and still a runner in scoring position for a good hitter, but a much easier situation here for the Mariners.
So Riley King, who is hitting .365 on the season, just 74 at-bats so far, but a very imposing threat, especially in the 6 hole for the Red Sox. Butler looking to retire him and get out of the inning with the lead. First pitch to King, swung on and popped up foul off to the right, out of play.
And that sounded like somebody's hood.
I believe there's a dumpster back there, so
Okay.
it's very well possible as hoping for the best in that scenario, or else someone might be taking out an insurance deposit on that one.
Did you park any further away this time than you did last time
Oh,
around?
absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yep. The 0-1. That one's in there for a strike.
If you're just tuning in here, you didn't tune into the last YD broadcast here at Red Wilson Field. There's a parking lot where everybody has to park directly behind the field here, so well within foul ball range, and got to be careful where you leave your windshield hanging around here.
So far, so good, though. Not too many balls hit in that direction. Hope that is the trend for this afternoon. The 0-2 is hit well down the left field line, but King got a little bit out in front of it as he hooks it foul.
Boy, he got all of that one, but just couldn't quite straighten it out and sends that one well into foul territory. Still an 0-2 count here, and that was a pitch that Jordan Butler probably wishes he could have back, although nothing ends up coming out of it for the Red Sox. So Butler has a few pitches to waste here. We'll see whether he gets King to try to chase something or whether he comes right back at him here.
Butler looks in, gets the sign that he wants. The 0-2. And once again, King way out in front of it. He yanks it foul. It seems like the last couple of batters have been really out in front of anything that Jordan Butler's thrown him.
Yeah, he's keeping it off speed, and we'll see whether he keeps that here and tries to continue to keep Riley King off balance. You got to think if you're Riley King, you're standing in there, you're getting off speed, off speed, off speed, and you're thinking sooner or later he's going to throw me a fastball. But Jordan Butler may or may not come home with that pitch.
Big jump by Wells. He's going. It's a hit and run as that ball is hit out towards right field. Cabrera heading back, and he's able to make the catch to retire the side. As Wells got a huge jump over at second, so should King have held up and that being a ball, he would have been in the third easily. But regardless, the inning is over. We're through 3 from Red Wilson Field. It is the Mariners 2, the Red Sox 1. You're listening to Harwich Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network.
Robert B. Out.
Welcome back once again to Red Wilson Field. Mariners lead the Red Sox 2-1. And a quick reminder that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Curry College. Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels in their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
So for a second time today, here comes Riley Tirada, who is 1 for 1 today with a double. He was able to reach second on a ball that was hit out into right field, and Palmer came in diving for it, but came up just short. So Tirada here in his Harwich Mariners debut here against his former team, and it'll be another inning coming up here for Sean Beller. A 1-0 count. Here is Tirada, one of those guys that we kind of got the scouting report on, and you know, a really solid defensive player here. Struggled a bit with the bat here at YD, but looking to have a bounce back outing, and so far he's hitting just fine here for the Harwich Mariners. Looking to maybe help them out, getting a few insurance runs here. Mariners lead it by 1 here in the 4th inning of play. Hal Hughes standing on deck, and here comes the 1-0 pitch. And that one's going to be swung on and taken hard, but right to the shortstop. Young picks it up, throws across, and that's going to be in time for out number 1.
Yeah, it's funny. The last time Toronto was up, he hit a flare down the right field line, and this time Riley squares one up and ends up getting out. So a double on a pop-up and a ground out on a ball hit really hard right at Wyatt Young.
Not sure what's going on, but a couple of games have been delayed here as both Catuan and Bourne and now Falmouth and Hyannis have been pushed back 30 minutes. This pitch is going to be raked down the left field line, but it's just going to be foul as trying to tuck that one on the right side was Hal Hughes, and that would have been his 3rd double of the season, but he'll have to come back and grab the bat again here with an 0-1 count.
It seems like the exit velocity has been increasing every game from Hal Hughes. He's been hitting the ball harder and harder, and that time he smoked it down the left field line, but just a bit out in front of it, so he'll try to straighten it out and, as you mentioned, pick up his third double of the year.
That might be the most solid contact we've seen Hal Hughes make this season, but he can't quite straighten it out, so it's no 1 count here. John Beller working through a 4th inning of play. Standing in the on-deck circle is Dylan Noisy, who has led things off here for the Harwich Mariners today. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to miss inside. Having to duck his leg out of the way there is Hal Hughes. So for a guy that hit just a shade above 100 throughout most of the beginning parts of the season, Hughes has really kind of bounced back here in these last couple of games. And that averages up to almost 200 as this one will be fouled out of play.
Yeah, and defensively he's been phenomenal all season long, so the hope was that the offense would come around with it, but even with Hughes in the lineup, we know he's out there for his great glove, and he's certainly made a difference for the Harwich Mariners defense this season, a big reason why they're currently ranked 2nd in the CCBL.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That's going to be missed well outside and low. That'll get past the outstretched arm of Noah Cardenas, and the count here is 2-2.
Just 2 at-bats yesterday for Hal Hughes. He went 0 for 2 with a strikeout, but had a decent game in Wareham.
2-2. He will send this one high in the air and back behind us out of play. So, you know, give him credit. He's been doing this all season as well. He's been just kind of battling off pitches and staying tight in counts. He'll keep it 2-2 here, facing off against John Beller for a 2nd time. Grounded out his 1st time up. Hitting here with 1 away and a 1-run lead. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and he will get on to this one, but takes it very shallow out into right center field, and tracking it down to make the catch is Noah Campbell for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, it looks like Beller's kind of looked a little bit stronger this inning, in which he's been attacking guys. We saw him walk 2 batters with 1 away in the 3rd, and that really put him behind the 8 ball, but this time he's not afraid to attack these Mariners hitters, and we'll see if he has that same approach as the lineup card flips over once again.
Yep, here comes Dylan Noisy, who today is 0 for 2. He has 2 groundouts on the day, looking to improve on that. And with 2 outs, Harwich looking for an insurance run. Up 2-1 on the YD Red Sox, is fouling this one away as Dylan Noisy. We've seen some really good speed out of Noisy this year, and he's got the potential to be a power hitter as well. You take a look at his numbers at Texas Tech during the 2019 season, where he had 8 home runs and 51 RBIs. Hit .298 in addition to that, so he will watch this pitch off speed. That one's going to miss, and the count is even here at 1-1. And seems like he's kind of taking a step back here in the summer league. It's been a bit of a slow start here for Dylan Noisy, hitting just 143. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be hit into right field. Straying back is Palmer, and he will settle under it for the 3rd out of the inning. So Harwich goes quietly in their half of the 4th. We go to the home half of that frame. When we come back, it'll be YD up to bat here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back to Red Wilson Field. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey as we go here to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Harwich leading it 2-1 here over the YD Red Sox. And for another victory here, as they are currently on a 1-game losing streak and trying to snap that after a tough game against the Bourne Braves yesterday, where they were only able to muster 1 run. It's Jordan Butler back out there for another inning, as fouling this one off is the 7-hole hitter Tate Samuelson. Samuelson lined out to Nico Cavadas at first base his first time up, and he'll look to improve on that here.
Yeah, and I noticed that the umpires are kind of rushing those in-between innings.
This one's going to be taken hard, but right at the second baseman. It's going to be caught by Christian Fetko for the second out of the inning. Back-to-back lineups here, or lineouts for Tate Tamilson.
But I noticed that the umpires are kind of making those warm-ups especially quick in between the innings. I'm sure a lot of that having to do with the lack of lights at Red Wilson Field, and maybe the league's kind of thinking about ways to quicken the game, but also to keep it at 5 o'clock. So kind of a catch-22. Either move up the game or find ways to shorten the some of the areas that can maybe make the game go by a little bit quicker.
It still seems like moving the game up 30 minutes would solve pretty much all of the problems, as this pitch is going to be in there for a called strike to Andrew Eister. But, you know traditions, and baseball is a tradition game, so 5 o'clock it is, and we're trying to beat the darkness here as this game kind of droning on a bit. Harwich is leading, though, 2-1 here in the fourth. The 0-1 pitch from Jordan Butler is going to be in there. Wow, no. Just off the plate, and Andrew Eister has a 1-1 count.
And you know, I think one solution might be is one of the problems might be the fact that class might still be in session when it comes to the start of the season, but once you get into July, I feel like you should be able to at least move up the game a little bit.
The 1-1's going to be fouled off the foot of Andrew Eister as he falls behind 1-2. And yeah, I know schools typically go way later here up in New England than they do most other places that I know of, especially around the Midwest and also the Southwest. So kind of a strange situation up here with the schooling system, but
yeah, and on average, school gets out, at least back in my neck of the woods, around the third week of June, on average, somewhere around there.
Third week of June. I was never out before. I was never out after June. Always sometime in May. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Butler. That one's going to be skipped in the dirt, and the count is here 2-2 on Andrew Eister.
A lot of days also added onto it due to snow days that they have to make up, so on average, probably get at least 3 or so days added on to the originally scheduled end date of classes.
Went to a school where everybody had four-wheel drive and trucks for the most part. They kind of just left us all on our own. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Check swing. He looked like he went around, and they will appeal. He certainly did. So that'll be strike 3 here for Jordan Butler on the day. That is strikeout number 3, and that'll be out number 2 here in the fourth.
Yeah, once again, Butler finding a way to pitch well once he's gotten the lead. As looked a little bit shaky in that first inning where gave up 3 consecutive hits, but boy, he has settled down since then, just giving up 1 hit in now 2 2/3 pitched.
Here comes the first guy that he walked back in the second inning. It was Noah Cardenas. And Cardenas will send this one high in the air. That's going to chase Hal Hughes out to center field, and it'll actually be Dylan Noisy coming in to make him catch for out number 3. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Harwich Mariners. We go now to the 5th inning of play right after this here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
For their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to baseball action here at Red Wilson Field. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey. It'll be a new pitcher coming into the game here as Colin Kafka enters in place of John Beller. Let's take a look at Kafka's season so far. He's posted a 4.5 ERA and a 2-0 record through 10 innings pitched. He's given up 10 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, and he has struck out 13 to just 8 walks. So Harwich finally able to get to the bullpen here, and that seems to be what they've done a good job of early in games, and that's kind of just going through starting pitching. And now it'll be up to a kind of shaky Whitey bullpen to try to hold the deficit at 1. before the offense tries to get some runs back.
Yeah, Harwich continues to be the kryptonite for John Beller this season, only able to go 4 innings, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits, and a season-high 3 walks issued by Beller to go along with 3 strikeouts. So the patience of Harwich being showcased this afternoon.
And this is the part of the order the Harwich Mariners would like up here, as Daniel Cabrera, Nico Cavadas, and Christian Fetko are due up. So it'll be Cabrera to lead things off. He's reached base twice today, and he's come around to score once, as he was walked back in the 3rd inning. First pitch that he sees from Kafka is going to miss for ball 1. See what Kafka's got in store. Plenty of different options for him as he will come out of the windup. The righty kicks and delivers the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be taken right at the first baseman. Picking it up and stepping on first is Samuelson for out number 1.
That ball hit pretty hard at Samuelson. It seemed like he was in a little bit of an awkward position at first when that ball came over, but he was able to glove it. Nice little underhand over to Kafka. So Kafka's mobility tested immediately after entering the game, but making it look easy going over there covering first base.
So Colin Kafka, a Pac-12 guy out of the University of Oregon. Member of the Ducks out of Walnut Creek, California. First pitch he delivers here to Nico Cavadas will miss for ball 1, so he's fallen behind both guys, and he struggled a little bit as a freshman. It wasn't a whole lot better as a sophomore. Last year had a 5.48 ERA at Oregon. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that one's going to be in there for called strike 1. So the count is even here at 1-1 to Nico Cavadas.
And with nobody on base, we know Cavadas is going to be kind of swinging for the fences here, probably looking to do some damage himself, extend that 7 home runs on the season as he takes a pitch that'll be right at the knees for a called strike.
Yeah, the 1-1's going to be in there, and another good frame there by Noah Cardenas, who's been able to really snap that pitch back up into the zone. So it'll be 1-2 here. Cavadas going to have to shorten up on the bat a little, and here comes the pitch. He will take that one sharply out into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit, and Nico Cavadas becomes a base runner here with 1 away here for the Harwich Mariners in the 5th.
Yeah, he went 0 for 3 yesterday, did reach base via a walk, so looking back, that's now 4 consecutive games for Cavadas that he has reached base in. So he's even in the games where he's not hitting those home runs, he's finding a way to make an impact at the plate.
So here comes Christian Fetko. Fetko is 0 for today with a walk, and he will be looking for a big hit. Again, came in and had the pinch hit the other day, and he has been in every single game for the Harwich Mariners in the month of July, getting the start here at second base in this one, and with a runner on first and 1 away, an opportunity for Harwich to try to look for an insurance run as he takes one into the same spot. That'll get down, and it's back-to-back hits here for Nico Cavadas and Christian Fetko. And here comes Mike Ludwig, who's already got a hit today.
Yep, good to see Fetko pick up a hit. He had that pinch hit opportunity yesterday and came through, but in his last 3 starts before that, he wasn't able to reach base via a hit, and he's finally broken that stretch. So it's now, I believe that's 2 hits in his last 3 at-bats, so maybe we'll see some more of Fetko, and he can get that average back over 300.
So Ludwig will stand in from the right side, and this is the part of the order that did the damage here for the Harwich Mariners just an inning ago. Joey Weimer, who had the 2 RBI single, stands on deck. 1 away, and the first pitch to Ludwig is going to miss low and away here for ball 1.
We've talked about all season long Ludwig's lack of RBI chances, it seems like. He's just gotten 2 on the season, but here's a great opportunity to extend the lead for his team.
Cavadas not the most speed in the world over on second, if you ask anybody other than Katuitt pitchers maybe. As the 1-0 pitch is on its way, and that one's going to be right down Main Street for strike 1. So the count is even here on Mike Ludwig, who, as you mentioned, has been an exceptional hitter for the Mariners this season, but has not seen a ton of RBI situations, and he'll have one here with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. If nothing else, just trying to move him up here for Weimer. Colin Kafka has gotten himself into some trouble here in this first inning of work. Here comes his 1-1 pitch, and that's going to be swung on and missed here by Ludwig to make the count 1-2.
And with Ludwig's single back in the 3rd inning, he's kind of flown under the radar in terms of guys who've been hitting really well for the Mariners over the last couple of games. That's now 4 of his last 5 games he's reached base via a base hit.
So with a 1-2 count, Kafka will come to the belt. Here comes the pitch, and that's going to be skipped in the dirt. Another good block by Cardenas. And the count is even here at 2 apiece. Ludwig had a ground out back in the first inning and then reached on an infield single that he really had to beat out in the third, and just a really good hustle play for him, able to reach base. So with a 2-2 count, he'll shorten up on the bat a little bit, has to get protective as Colin Kafka looks for his first strikeout of the day. He's already retired one. He let the next two guys get on via singles, and here he'll deliver a pitch that misses low and inside, and the count has been worked full here by Mike Ludwig.
And the other thing with Ludwig is, I think the reason, much like Chris Lanzilli, that he's been hitting better is he's been taking the ball all over the field. I'm looking at his spray chart right now, and it pretty much shows that he's been hitting it equally to both left center and right field. And I'm sure that's a big reason why his average has kind of gone up over the last few games.
Right now with Young holding the runner on second, there's a lot of space on the left side as spinning around and taking a look at Nico Cavadas is Colin Kafka. Riley King playing awfully close to the third base bag, so again, a lot of real estate up the left side of the field here for Mike Ludwig. He does not have a home run yet this season. Here comes the 3-2, and he'll swing through that for strike three, and that is out number 2 in the inning.
Yeah, much needed second out for Kafka and the YD Red Sox, but danger certainly hasn't passed as Joey Weimer will be digging in, and he has both RBIs for Harwich in this one.
Yep, a 2 RBI single back in the third inning, and then a ground out back in the second. And with 2 away, and Nico Cavadas once again standing on second base for him. This could be a chance to drive in an insurance run here for the Harwich Mariners. 2 away here, Colin Kafka trying to get out of the inning unscathed. Still no runs given up here as this team still trails by 1. Weimer stands in. First pitch he sees is going to be chopped hard, and that's going to get through. We'll see whether or not they send Cavadas. They will. It's going to be botched out in left field by Austin Wells, and the run comes home here for Harwich. Chalk up another RBI single for Joey Weimer, and the Mariners have extended their lead by 2. They lead it 3-1.
I'm sure Joey Weimer was getting really anxious sitting on the bench over the last couple of games because he has come out and been swinging the bat so well in this game. Back-to-back at-bats with a single, and that's now 3 RBIs on the game. Weimer hit that basically in the same spot as he hit the last single, right down that third base side just past Riley King. And so some more insurance runs for Jordan Butler and the Harwich Mariners pitching staff.
Yeah, once again, a hard ball on the ground gets through. So Pat Winkle, who's over 2 with a pair of strikeouts, comes up. He'll look to break out of what he's done today and find a hit to keep the inning going here for Riley Tirada. Pitch is going to be in there for a called strike. So the count is 0-1 here on Winkle. Kafka's not going to be very shy here about attacking the strike zone on Pat Winkle as he's looking to put the ball in play for the first time today. With an 0-1 count, Winkle stands in from the right side. Here comes the pitch, and he will take this one up the middle, but it'll be taken and picked up by Young, who throws on the first in time to end the inning, but not before the Mariners find a very, very needed insurance run. They lead it 3-1 here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Sponsored by Mr. Love of
Welcome back to Red Wilson Field. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey bringing the coverage of Harwich Mariners baseball here. And Harwich taking a 2-run lead here. They're up 3-1. Colin, the offense is starting to put together some sustained hits and really kind of string things together for a couple of big innings.
Well, Tyler, what have we seen in this game? It's actually been kind of the common denominator when Harwich has been hitting hot, and that is 2-out hitting. Joey Weimer with a couple of RBI singles with 2 outs, and that has made the difference in this one. All 3 runs coming in with 2 outs. So as long as the Mariners can hit with 2 outs, I'm sure they prefer to maybe do some more damage before getting 2 outs. But as long as they can hit with 2 outs, it seems like they've beaten pretty much anyone this season.
So for a third time through the lineup, it'll be Jordan Butler facing off against Wyatt Young, Brad Beasley, and Austin Wells. Young has reached on a walk and grounded out. Other than that, he stands in from the right side now. Butler from the windup. First pitch he delivers home, and that one's going to be taken out into center field. Chasing it back is Noisy, and he'll make the catch well inside the park for out number 1. And Colin, yeah, 2-out hitting has been a huge factor for the Harwich Mariners, and it's been very strange because typically, you know, with 2 away, all it takes is 1 out to end the inning, but they've done a lot of damage with 2 away this year.
Yep, and a lot of that having to do with them getting guys in scoring position. You know, sometimes it takes until 2 outs to get guys in scoring position, but you have a lot of guys that have a lot of experience in terms of batting with guys in scoring position in that situation, and more we've seen them get a little more comfortable in that spot, and they've started to really capitalize on those chances.
This pitch is going to be zipped in there, and it's a strike one here on Brad Beasley, who reached on a single back in the first, came around to score on the Noah Campbell RBI single. So far, that's the only run of the game here for the YD Red Sox. 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be just off the outside edge from Jordan Butler, who has really settled in here after giving up a base runner in each of the first 3 innings. He had a 3-up, 3-down back in the 4th. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Off speed. That one very close around the knees, but it's going to be called ball 2.
Lack of updates so far in terms of scoring, and that is not a coincidence, as we've had a couple of delays so far to go along with us having the early start in this one, so not much to talk about around the rest of the league.
2-1 is popped foul. The count will be 2-2 here. Yeah, no other games going on right now. Still 10 minutes to first pitch out in Falmouth, and a 30-minute delay with the Hyannis game. So not really sure what's going on with all these delays, but one way or another, baseball will be played across the Cape, just not as early as some would like. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Got a piece of it.
No, he got it just barely. So it's going to be a 2-2 count once again here. Is just narrowly staying alive by maybe half a splinter is Brad Beasley. Butler comes from the windup. The 2-2 is on its way, and now it's going to be just off the plate, 3-2.
Yeah, it looked like that ball was just below the kneecaps. I mean, didn't miss by a whole lot, so we'll see if Butler can fight back. If he's able to get these last 2 outs to the 5th, he'll be eligible for another win.
So Butler here in his second start of the season for Harwich with a 3-2 count on Brad Beasley. And here comes the payoff pitch, and that's going to be smacked out into right field. Cabrera will chase it back to the fence, but he'll make the catch for out number 2.
And you know, this afternoon, I feel like YD's been a bit of a victim of their own ballpark. They've hit a couple of balls out towards center and right center, fairly deep, but you know, there's no markers on any of these fences, so it's hard to tell how deep it is. But in terms of the eye test, it looks like it's a really, really deep poke, especially out towards right field.
Well, and you can also kind of see how they compensate that as the fence is a lot taller here at Red Wilson Field than it is at other places across the league. So squaring around a bunt and laying one down the foul side is Austin Wells, and he's already reached twice today, a couple of singles for him.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to catch him by surprise. We know how well he can swing the bat, and he's got some solid speed for a guy who doubles as a catcher along with a left fielder, almost like a Kyle Schwarber of sports, but he's got a decent amount of speed, kind of caught him napping with the shift, and that's how some of these guys nowadays beat the shift, is they just try to lay one down that third base line.
Yeah, if you can lay it down in fair territory, it's a very good weapon, but if not, you'll fall behind 0-1 as there is a very big shift once again as this is fouled away down the first base line. Nico Cavadas is playing on the line. Christian Fetko is basically right behind him, and out there in the second baseman's position is Hal Hughes.
And regardless if it's as a catcher or left fielder, whatever it may be, I feel like I can see Austin Wells being a really special player with one of these major league teams in the future. He has got an amazing bat and great speed to go along with it.
And here he does exactly what he needs to do. He beats the shift as he pushes this one just on the right side of the line. He's going to turn for 2. Weimer's throw is going to be close, but there will be no tag applied. And, well, it's hit number 3 of the day here for Austin Wells, and Whitey has a runner in scoring position with 1 away.
Yep, and
2 away.
Once again, he goes to beat the shift. This time he's going to swing the bat, and, you know, he had to protect with 2 strikes, and he just kind of flicks his wrist down the left side. Plenty of space with Riley Terada way off, almost in the shortstop position. So a big runner with 2 outs, and now the tying run steps to the plate, Noah Campbell.
Yep, Campbell's already got a hit today. It was the RBI single back in the first that drove in the only run, and he'll be looking to do it again here. His first pitch from Jordan Butler's in there for strike 1. Austin Wells, one of those guys you feel like it doesn't matter what you do as a pitcher, he's going to get his sooner or later, and that seems to have been the case today as Butler's put together a pretty good performance, but he has surrendered 3 hits to Austin Wells. This is a big swing and a miss at a low fastball to Noah Campbell, and the count is 0-2 here in favor of Jordan Butler.
And the incredible thing about Wells, he's doing all this damage against a lefty, which is something that most left-handed hitters really struggle with, is picking up, especially off speeds coming from southpaw pitchers.
So with an 0-2 count, Jordan Butler will come to the belt. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and that's a breaking ball that will just miss low and inside here. So the count is 1-2. Jake Palmer, of course, standing on deck, and the next 4 guys in the order have not hit at any point so far today. Neither is Noah Cardenas, who reached on a walk, but aside from that has been hitless today. The 1-2 pitch. That's going to be swung on, is way out in front of that, sending it into left field to Joey Weimer is Noah Campbell, and Weimer will squeeze it for the 3rd out of the inning. We go to the 6th, still a 3-1 Harwich lead here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back here at Red Wilson Field, Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey as we go now to the 6th inning of play. Harwich will look for even more insurance runs. They've already picked up 1, and a crucial one. They lead at 3-1 here over the YD Red Sox. And Colin, it seems like things have started to pick up a little bit here. The sun's setting behind the press box, but not going back behind the trees. So should be able to get this one in as we try to race the ever-imposing threat of darkness here at Red Wilson Field.
And if anything, I'm sure the Mariners wouldn't mind this one going dark after getting robbed of a win from the rain. Ek to it, so maybe the tables will turn for the Mariners.
First pitch is going to be off speed here for Colin Kafka, who was able to avoid giving up more than 1 run back in the 5th inning after allowing back-to-back hits by Nico Cavadas and Christian Fetko. So it's Riley Tirada standing in here. The 1-0 pitch to him, and that one's going to be in there for called strike 1 to even the count at 1 apiece here. Tirada is 1 for 2 today. He had a double back in the 2nd inning and then grounded out back in the 4th. Staring in is Colin Kafka. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. Same spot with a breaking ball, and he's got ahead here of Tirada.
Yeah, good stuff there from Kafka as he looks to have a much cleaner inning than the 5th, giving up that run and a pair of singles that would plate that run.
Swing and a miss. That's going to be strike 3, and down for his first strikeout as a Harwich Mariner is Riley Tirada, so that'll take us to the 9 hole here in Hal Hughes.
And despite that strikeout, I think one thing I noticed is Tirada, did he break that 0-for streak of Mariners making their debut with that double back in the 2nd inning?
Yeah, he actually did. So it took a transfer, if you will, but Riley Tirada is able to do it, and we didn't interview him pregame, so that could have been part of the reason as Hal Hughes stands in. First pitch he sees is going to be in there for strike 1. But yes, you're correct. The double was the first hit by a Harwich Mariner in their debut. Other than that, they were 0 for 30 with 17 strikeouts as Hughes will swing through that and fall behind here 0-2.
And that, of course, referring to the players that ended up coming in late, as we know all those guys who started on opening day and picked up hits would obviously break that trend. But,
of course.
But they don't count.
The 0-2 is swung on and skied high in the air. That'll get back behind us, so the count stays here at 0-2 as Hal Hughes continues to fight through long at bat after long at bat, and boy, you just feel like sooner or later he's going to start really putting a good swing on it. But for the time being, he's just staying defensive here as Colin Kafka looks to put him away. Here comes another 0-2 pitch, and that one is going to be a breaking ball that'll miss inside for ball one. Kafka came into the 5th inning. This is his 2nd full inning of work. He gave up back-to-back hits to Cavadas and Fedko before Joey Weimer had an RBI single that drove in the 3rd run of the Mariners' day. And here, fouling off another pitch, is Hal Hughes.
Yeah, so looking back at that first game of the season for the Mariners, Nico Cavadas, one of the guys who had a hit in that game in his debut, Chris Lanzilli as well, and then the other two belonging to Danny Harris, a double, and Joe Lamuccio.
1-2 is going to be golfed at. Taking off for first as Cardenas comes up and throws in time for the out. So Hal Hughes is retired on strikes for Dylan Noisy. But yeah, you said Joe Lamuccio and Danny Harris, correct?
Yes, and actually, quick update on Joe Lamuccio. He's now found himself on the Valley Blue Sox right now. He's been the 3-hitter for them over the last couple of weeks, so it's good to see him find a home after being released following the end of his temporary contract with the Mariners, and he's found some success now in the NECBL.
So it'll be the top of the order here. Dylan Noisy coming up for a 4th time today. So far 0 for 3, and the first pitch he sees is a fastball that will miss low for ball 1. Yeah, a lot of guys that kind of bounce in and out of leagues, and it seems like if you can't find a place in the Cape, but you're good enough to make it to start the season, there's definitely a place for you somewhere, as Lamuccio found out. This pitch will miss low and away for ball 2.
Not too difficult of a trip back either, just off the Cape through Route 6 and then hopping right onto Mass Pike West out to Holyoke.
So Colin Kafka ready for the 2-0. That's going to be missed low and away as well. So Kafka falls behind 3-0 here on Dylan Noisy, and the one thing you don't want to do is put Noisy on with all his speed. We've already seen his abilities on the base paths. He'd be more than content to take a walk here.
And then you couple that with the way the Mariners have been hitting with 2 outs.
So here comes the 3-0 pitch, and that one's going to be swung on and taken out into right field. Plenty of time for Palmer to settle under it, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So that'll do it for the 6th inning, at least for the Harwich side. It'll be the Whitey Red Sox coming up and trying to get a few runs back when we come back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to Red Wilson Field. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey as we go here to the home half of the 6th inning. And tell you what, Colin, we're almost through 6 here from Red Wilson, and nobody else has even started playing yet as the Chatham A's pregame show just getting underway. Still no games in action yet.
Yep, and part of that, of course, are the delays that I'm not sure exactly what's been going on over in some of these other games, but then you also have to factor in the 5 p.m. start time. We're at one of course, 3 fields on the Cape that do not have lights, so they have to have the earlier start time. But, you know, so far the Mariners have played pretty well when they've had early start times. Of course, yesterday kind of the one exception, but they've had a couple of games this year where they've played well on the road when they've had to start at about 5 p.m. So, and including right here at YD, as this is their second game of 3 at Red Wilson Field, and it's played so far that it seems like the offense and the pitching have really come to enjoy.
Speaking of the pitching, it'll be Jordan Butler back out there for another inning. It looks like Jared Weatherby is up and warming in the Harwich bullpen, but for the time being, the game belongs to Butler as he goes here into his 6th inning of work, and the first pitch from him is going to be in there for strike 1. Swinging right through that is Jake Palmer.
And Butler went 5 in his last start here at Red Wilson Field, so he's trying to extend it a little bit, get that 6th inning, and make his bullpen's job a little bit easier.
Butler comes from the slow windup, the 0-1 pitch, and that one's going to be swung on and taken up the right side. It's going to be Fedko. Somehow barehands it, flips it back, and it's going to way past Cavadas, but doing everything he could as Fedko had to range all the way to his right. He had to make a sliding stop just to knock it down. Didn't get it into the glove, but picked it up with his bare hand and threw wildly at first base. So I believe they're going to rule that as a hit. Probably. We'll wait and see what the official ruling is up on the scoreboard, but it's going to put a runner on with nobody out here for Riley King.
Yeah, they did in fact rule that one a hit, but for Fedco, very tough play ranging to his left, but you know, he kind of had a tough decision to make to either stay on his feet or go into that slide, and it seemed like he was kind of caught in between where it would have been a tough play regardless had he stayed up.
This one's going to be taken out into right field, out in right center. Coming in to make the catch there is Daniel Cabrera as Riley King swings under that one, and one away here in the inning for the Harwich Mariners for Tate Samuelson, who's gotten a really good bat on the ball twice today, but he's lined out both times.
And speaking of a great bat so far, Riley King sent a couple of balls out towards right field, but all three at-bats he's flown out to Daniel Cabrera, so a lot of opposite field power from King, but he hasn't quite been able to get one over Cabrera's head.
So here's Samuelson standing in from the left side, and the first pitch he sees will be taken up the left side. That's going to get over the outstretched arm of the jumping Hal Hughes, and it's going to be another base hit here, so the tying run standing on first base, and the go-ahead run standing on deck, or up to bat here in Andrew Eister.
Yep, and there's a huge opportunity for the bottom of the order who's kind of struggled today. I mean, Tate Samuelson picking up his first hit after going 0 for 2, and now let's see if Eister can follow suit. He struck out twice in this one.
Jordan Butler taking some time, waiting here for Andrew Eister to get ready. So the runner on first is Tate Samuelson. The runner on second is Jake Palmer. The Mariners with a 2-run lead here in Jordan Butler's 6th inning of work, one away here. And they're looking to hold that lead here at Red Wilson Field. Butler will come to the belt, check the runner, and bring the pitch home. It's going to be off speed and, boy, awfully close there, but the umpire not giving anything. Down low, and it's going to be ball one.
Definitely a righty-heavy lineup with 5 righties and a switch hitter for YD, so interesting to see Jared Weatherby warming up. I guess they don't really worry about the matchup here, or maybe Weatherby will just be going that one inning that he's kind of been trademarked to go.
Here comes Butler's 1-0. That one's going to be in there for a strike, and the count is even here at 1 apiece. And yeah, for Jared Weatherby, you got to feel bad for the guy. The only run he's given up all season, not just the only earned run, but the only run he's given up was the walk-off home run against Falmouth. But he came in and looked pretty good in his last outing. Seemed like he bounced back pretty well. So he is going to be the man that Harwich will likely turn the ball over to after this inning or during it if Butler gets in some trouble. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be swung on and taken once again down the right field line, drifting into foul territory, and that will fall harmlessly past the outstretched arm of Daniel Cabrera for strike number 2.
Yeah, Eister looking to avoid the hat trick. Got him into a 1-2 count, Butler does, so let's see if he'll try to maybe try tying him up. He was a little bit late on that fastball on the outside part of the plate. Maybe come back in with another heater and try to blow it by him right in on the hands.
He's got a couple of options: fastball, changeup, curveball. See what he elects to go with here with a 1-2 count. From the belt, checks the runner back to second and checks him again. Here comes the 1-2. That's swung on and fouled away here is Andrew Eister, who's already struck out twice today, staying alive here, trying to keep the inning going for the YD Red Sox. So the count stays 1-2 here on Eister. He's put together a pretty impressive season. They like keeping a little bit of power at the bottom of the order here. Eister's hitting .234 on the season. He's prone to the strikeout pitch. He leads the team with 26 Ks this year. Actually, second on the team. 33 belong to Austin Wells. Here he'll take one to third. It's going to be picked up. The throw from Terada is in time for 1. The return throw not in time for 2. So it'll be the second out of the inning here, but the runners will move up to be on the corners for Noah Cardenas.
And a big opportunity for Cardenas. He drew a walk back in the second, was able to steal second base for his first stolen base of the season, and now we'll see if he can come up big.
Noah Cardenas from UCLA, and actually it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter, so one of those patented pinch hitters here for Scott Pickler.
Eric Tolman, Arizona State product.
Yep, they brought him in to pinch hit, I believe, the last time these two teams met, and why not? He's swinging a good bat this year with a .400 batting average and 4 RBIs in 10 games played through 10 at-bats.
They did, in fact, bring him in, and he ended up striking out swinging, and we're going to have a mound visit real quick with Butler and Coach Berger.
And it seems like, to me, Colin, he's probably been used exclusively, or at least almost exclusively, as a pinch hitter. As you look at those numbers, 10 at bats, 10 hit, or 10 at bats, 10 games. So about about an at bat per game, and he's gotten the 4 hits this year, 1 double, has a home run as well. So a lot of power for him as well.
Do you remember seeing him hit it all back at Arizona State this
I
past
actually got to call his first career hit of the season. It was an RBI double that was able to drive in Drew Swift and gave the Harwich Mariners a big-time lead on the Xavier Musketeers, the team that Nick Swalk is from. So got to see him pitch as well. But yeah, no, he swings a really good bat. And I mean, he was used as a pinch hitter a number of times, or as a DH, I should say, for the Arizona State Sun Devils back in 2019. So he can really bring a really good spark to this team, and here he'll have an opportunity as a pinch hitter to try to make something happen with a tying run standing on first base and another run trying to cut into the deficit just 90 feet away.
And at the very least, be able to keep this inning alive and bring up arguably the best contact hitter in the entire league in Wyatt Young, who waits in the on-deck circle.
Tolman does represent the go-ahead run. He does have 1 homer this season, so if he can put one over the wall, it would in fact give the YD Red Sox a lead. He's already done that once this year. The first pitch he sees is going to be in there for a called strike, and the meeting at the mound may have gone a little something like attack the strike zone, keep things inside, and whatever you do, don't hang anything off speed up in the zone or this guy's going to drive it. Be interesting to see who the new catcher will be into the game, as the next pitch is going to be swung on and missed for strike 2, as Noah Cardenas will have to check out.
Wouldn't be surprised if Wells might move to catcher and they bring in an outfielder to replace him out and left, so we'll have to see. But definitely an interesting call for the YD dugout.
They do like to use a lot of pinch hitters and pinch runners late in games. We know that about Scott Pickler. Here comes Butler's 0-2 pitch. Right down the middle, strike 3, and the inning is over. Another excellent frame here from Jordan Butler, who got himself in some trouble but was able to pitch his way out of it, and he retires a strikeout to end the inning. When we come back, it'll be the 7th inning of play. Harwich just 3 outs away from putting this one to bed here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Nationwide for players in changes for the Red Sox. Now playing. Leading off the 7th inning.
Top of the 7th from
Louisiana State
Red
University.
Wilson Field. Colin Casey alongside Tyler Henry as the Harwich Mariners enjoy a 3-1 lead over the YD Red Sox. First pitch to Daniel Cabrera, misses low for a ball, and a couple of defensive changes to report. If I heard correctly, I think it's Joe Hall, the new left fielder for the YD Red Sox, and that pitch misses outside, so Austin Wells will in fact move behind home plate.
Yeah, but not a bad idea. It allowed them to get the guy they wanted in there in Eric Tolman, but a good strike on the inside corner from Jordan Butler was able to retire him for the last out of the inning.
Cabrera fouls pitch off himself in the batter's box.
Finally, baseball underway around the rest of the Cape. The Falmouth Commodores have taken a 1-0 lead here early over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Daniel Cabrera 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Mixed in a walk as well, as he's ahead in the count 3-1, looking to coax another walk, and it seems like patience continues to increase from Daniel Cabrera. he did walk in that big game he had at Wareham, the 3-1, is rolled over on towards second. Campbell gloves it. Throw on to Samuelson is in time, so Daniel Cabrera, despite working a good count, is retired to begin the 7th.
And here comes Nico Cavadas, who today has struck out, walked, and singled. He's come around to score twice for this Harwich team and trying to find his way on and maybe come around to score another insurance run here with a 2-run Mariner lead.
First pitch to Cavadas is over for a called strike. And even when he was retired via a strikeout back in the first, he was able to move Daniel Cabrera over to third at the time before Mike Ludwig grounded out 10 in the inning. And pitch misses outside from Kafka to make it 1-1. Cullen Kafka out there for his 3rd inning of work. Had a rough 5th, but turned things around in the 6th, and he gets Nico Cavadas to foul one off our way.
Yeah, had a couple of quick strikeouts on Riley Terada and Hal Hughes, and then was able to get Noisy to fly out. So far, he has retired 5 guys in a row. But here he has to go through the toughest part of the Mariners lineup.
Infield and outfield both shifted on Cavadas as a pitch misses low to even things up 2-2.
And he's been able to hit balls pretty much everywhere, wherever he wants. So you wonder how much good a shift will do, as he has taken things to the opposite field before. Still plenty of room between the third baseman and the third base bag as well.
2-2 is swung on a miss for strike 3, so Cavadas, despite reaching base twice, is also struck out twice now. And a good start for Kafka here in the 7th, 2 down.
Yeah, Harwich has scored the fewest runs out of the 3 frames in the final third of games, so we'll see whether they can manufacture a few more runs here in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But holding a 2-run lead, here comes Christian Fetko, who is 1 for 2 today with a walk and a base hit. Hit coming back in the 5th inning.
Mariners able to pick up 1 run against Wareham in the final 3 frames, but other than that, it's been few and far in between. First pitch to Fedko comes in and glances off his shoulder, and he will head down to first, grimacing in pain.
Yeah, that one came in awfully high. That was really, really strange, and Fetko is going to be hit for a 2nd time this season, so he'll take his base over there at first. Hopefully he's all right. The last time he was hit by a pitch, he had to sit out for about a week, but that was hit to a much different area.
It was a glancing blow right on his front shoulder. So with 2 away, Fedko stands on first, and Mike Ludwig will get an opportunity. He's 1 for 3 with a single. First pitch he sees, he shows bunt and ends up taking it low for ball 1.
Yeah, 2 away here, and Ludwig had the infield single back in the 3rd inning. He was really able to just kind of fight it through and leg that out at first. So Harwich may be looking to just continue their 2-out streak as they continue to pile runs on when they have 2 away in the inning.
The 1-0 is hit hard on the ground up the middle, and it's going to get through past Campbell for a base hit. Fedko's going to head to third, and he's in there easily. So another multi-hit game for Mike Ludwig, and there'll be runners at the corners for guess who? Joey Weimer with 2 outs.
He's already got 3 RBIs today. He's driven all 3 runs for the Harwich Mariners, and he has an opportunity here with another insurance run just 90 feet away. Harwich would feel a lot better if he could drive in Christian Fetko. So Weimer, who is 2 for 3, that's the 2 hits, 3 RBIs, looking to come in and do what he does best here and driving a few more for the Harwich Mariners.
And all 3 of his appearances so far with run-scoring opportunities have been with 2 outs. Let's see if he can drive in some more runs, both of which hit to the left side. First pitch from Kafka misses up and in.
Yep, Weimer once again taking the first pitch, although this time it's a lot easier as that one not even remotely close to the strike zone. So he's out ahead.
Kafka awaits the sign. He comes set. The 1-0 is ripped to left for a 3rd time and a base hit. Joey Weimer with his 3rd RBI single. He now has 4 on the night as he scores Fedko to make it 4-1.
And again, not trying to kill the ball, just putting a good bat on it and driving it to left field. It's going to be another RBI. He's driven in every single run for the Mariners tonight, and they now hold a 4-1 lead here over the Whitey Red Sox.
Mike Ludwig advances to second on the play, so now Pat Winkle with a 2-out opportunity himself.
It's been kind of a day to forget here for Pat Winkle as he is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, but better late than never, and a big opportunity for him coming up to try to keep the inning alive. And Colin, once again, a 2-out RBI here for the Mariners. All 4 have come that way as well.
So 2-out hitting continues to be big for the M's as the first pitch to Winkle, misses low, and Winkle did strike out in his first 2 plate appearances, but on that last one back in the 5th, he hit the ball pretty hard up the middle. It took a nice play by Wyatt Young to end the inning without allowing an additional run score. Look over at second, the 1-0 is skipped in. A nice stop by Wells, who hasn't really missed a beat since moving over to catcher. 2 runners on, 2 away. Ludwig on second, Weimer at first. 4-1 advantage for the Harwich Mariners as they look to make it 2-1 on the season against the YD Red Sox. The 2-0 is a ground ball foul, and if they were to hold on, it would mean the home team has won each game between these two so far this season.
Yep, with 3 more left to go, so still plenty of games between the Eastern opponents, and we'll see how that shakes out as with a 2-1 count. It'll be Winkle standing back in here. A big game coming up tomorrow for the Harwich Mariners as they'll play host to the last place team in the league in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
2-1 misses outside, so a favorable count for Pat Winkle. He's ahead 3-1 with Riley Tirada on deck. He's 1 for 3 in his Mariners debut. Cullen Kafka comes to the set. Here's his 3-1. And it's lined and caught over at first base. A leaping catch by Tate Samuelson, and that will end the inning. But once again, Joey Weimer comes up big for the Harwich Mariners with another RBI single, and the Mariners with a 4-1 advantage over the YD Red Sox as we head to the 7th inning stretch. Once again, 4-1 is your score. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. Bottom of the 7th from Red Wilson Field as Jared Weatherby will take over for Jordan Butler, who, Tyler, once again has a strong start against a very good YD offense.
Yeah, he goes 6 completed innings, gives up just 7 hits, only 1 run, and strikes out 4 compared to just the 2 walks. So he has been the Red Sox killer, and he comes in and gets the job done again so far. Let's see whether or not his team can provide him some run support as Jared Weatherby comes in and tries to hold things over here for a very good bullpen here for the Harwich Mariners.
Weatherby will be greeted by the top of the order. Lefty, righty, lefty. Wyatt Young lead things off. He is 0 for 2 with a walk so far, so the second hitter in the entire league.
So I just got some clarification on one of the delays. Katuitt and Bourne's game was delayed 40 minutes due to a lack of umpires, and tonight's game between Brewster and Chatham will have just 2 umpires. So apparently we have an umpire shortage here in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Yeah, that's something you don't really see every day. I wonder what the true cause was there, but regardless, good to see those games get underway. And are both of those games at fields with lights?
Yeah,
big
every
question.
game is at a field with lights tonight. Just
Okay.
Katuitt, well, actually, except for this one, but Katuitt
Right.
and Brewster are both on the road tonight. So no power shortages there, only the one here, and so far plenty of light left to go here. Looks like we will get through the full 9 today.
So it'll be lefty-lefty with Wyatt Young digging in. Jared Weatherby looking for redemption after giving up a walk-off home run in his last appearance, but as you mentioned earlier, the only blemish he's really had all season long.
Yep, the only earned run that he's given up at any point this season.
So Weatherby will work from the windup. The Elon University product misses high with his first pitch.
Yeah, and Weatherby actually got his revenge against the Chatham Anglers. He
That's
came in
right.
and pitched the 1 inning, gave up no runs, no hits, and had the 1 walk to the 1 strikeout.
1-0 is swung on and fouled off. I had a feeling he had a game immediately after that we had talked about him bouncing back,
Yeah,
but
came in and replaced Connor McCullough after 8 scoreless innings in a game televised nationally that McCullough looked awfully good on in front of the camera.
Got the save in that game as well, so Weatherby able to redeem himself, and now he's looking to keep things at a 3-run lead here in the 7th, and the 1-1 misses just inside to Wyatt Young.
Yeah, that came awfully close to coming in and getting Wyatt Young, so that'll give us a chance to take a look at Jared Weatherby and what he has in his pocket. A fastball, a splitter, and a circle change, so some good off speed for him, and that fastball coming in at around 94 miles an hour has some good velocity on it.
2-1 is fouled straight back by the Hawaiian.
As the Harwich bat boy coming out to try to retrieve the ball trips over a batting helmet and just eats it right here in front of us here at Wilson Field. That's tough.
Lucky for him, we're only doing radio tonight.
I was going to say, no cameras on him there for that.
Weatherby looks in. The windup in is 2-2. Is up and away, so Young able to work the count full, and it would be very vital if he can get on base for the YD Red Sox. He has stolen 5 bags this year, so maybe he can be a catalyst of sorts in the home half of the 7th. Payoff pitch from Weatherby. Misses up and away once again, so Young is on base. His second walk drawn. That will put the leadoff man on to begin the home half of the 7th.
And that's going to be the 5th inning today where the YD Red Sox were able to get a runner on base. They've stranded runners in 5 different innings. And the only inning where they actually didn't get one on was back in the 4th inning. Actually, that's the 6th as Coach Jeff Neiman comes out to have a word with Jared Weatherby. And boy, you can just see the size difference out there between Jeff Neiman and Jared Weatherby. Neiman standing at about, 6'7" probably. And let's see what Weatherby's listed at, but
5'10".
there you go. So some good advice, a good guy to get advice from out there in Jeff Neiman. We've talked about just how instrumental he's been this season in just kind of providing excellent pitching coaching for this team, and part of the reason why they have the best pitching staff in the entire league is they'll break the huddle here and Weatherby will get back to work.
And you got a guy here in Jeff Neiman that would probably still, at least within the last couple of years, still be in the major leagues had not been for the injuries he had dealt with through his major league career. So this is a guy who knows kind of not just how to get outs, because of course he did a lot of that, especially at Rice as a member of that collegiate team, but also in a way that he knows what the game is like nowadays because he was a part of it in this era of baseball, as the first pitch immediately following the conference is right over for a strike to Brad Beasley.
Yeah, Weatherby rips that one in very quickly, going back to the fastball here, and he threw a lot of off-speed in that at-bat to Wyatt Young, so we'll see whether or not he comes with more command and more fastballs here in this at-bat.
The 0-1, that one's over as well, so Weatherby really bringing the heat following the mound meeting, and he's got Beasley behind 0-2. Brad Beasley 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored and a couple of flyouts. He is the only run scored in this game for YD, and hits one hard on the ground to second. Fedko the flip to Hughes for 1. On to first, it's a double play as a great turn by Hal Hughes. Perfect throw on to first. And so Beasley is a double play victim, 2 away.
Boy, I wasn't sure that they were going to get him. You talk about the speed for Brad Beasley down the line. He was hustling, but an excellent job by Fedko, not only to keep that in front of him and flip the second, but you mentioned on the turn back for Hal Hughes, who had to rip one into first, and the bases are cleared off here for Austin Wells, which is a good thing because so far he's gotten a hit in every single one of his at-bats.
And here comes the shift once again with Fedko playing on the outfield grass over at second and Hughes playing to the right of second base. Weatherby working from the windup. He starts Wells off with a breaking ball that misses upstairs.
So not going right back to the fastball here against Austin Wells, who has not failed yet to reach base.
1-0, that one's on the outside corner to make it 1-1.
Yeah, Weatherby coming back with a fastball there to even the count, and see how aggressive he gets here with Austin Wells. It'll be a lefty on lefty matchup.
And a swing and a miss, and Wells didn't miss that one by much. And no surprise, he's a big power threat standing at 6'2", 205 pounds. A lot of power from that swing, and not only to the right side, but also the left. We've seen him place a couple of hits, including one tonight down that left field line, the 1-2. And he's looking to do that there as he fouls one off slice to the left out of play.
Yeah, he's already beaten the shift twice, as you mentioned, and interesting to me that Harwich is going back to it here again with how well he's been able to hit around it. But they elect to keep it on him here, and we'll see whether or not that decision pays dividends.
Was able to actually rip one right through it between Fedko and Hughes on the right side of the infield. 1-2. And it just misses on the outside corner as Weatherby thought he had strike 3, but instead it's an even count 2-2.
Yeah, really good use of the circle change there. Not a pitch that you can hang, but that one drops down into the perfect location, just barely misses below the knees, and the count is even here at 2 a pop.
The 2-2 once again. And that ball is hit well out towards right field. Cabrera going back in. It's actually going to hang up just in time as that ball really jumped off the bat, but Cabrera runs it down towards the foul pole, and that will end the inning. So a clean 7th from Jared Weatherby out of the pen. We're through 7 from Red Wilson Field. Harwich Mariners enjoying a 4-1 lead. You're listening to Mariners Baseball, the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Now pitching for the Red Sox from Fresno State University.
Another new pitcher to tell you about from Red Wilson Field, as it is Oscar Carvajal, the new pitcher for the YD Red Sox after Cullen Kafka goes 3 full, giving up 2 runs on 5 hits while striking out 4.
Yep, it'll be Oscar Carvajal coming into the game here for the YD Red Sox, trying to keep things at the deficit that they currently stand at. And it's been a tough year for Carvajal with an 8.1 ERA through just 3 1/3 innings. So Harwich with a chance to maybe jump out on him as the first pitch is delivered in there for a strike.
Righty out of Fresno State will be greeted by Riley Tirada, who's 1 for 3 with a double. He's also grounded out and struck out. Carvajal quickly into the stretch. And a heater ties up Tirada, and he's able to barely get a bat on it, foul it off. It's 0-2.
Yeah, in addition to the ERA this year, Carvajal's given up 6 hits and 3 runs, all of them earned. He's struck out 4 and has not walked anybody yet this year, but opponents are hitting .375 off of him this year.
Just 3 1/3 pitched this season, so not a huge sample size, and he'll miss with the fastball to Riley Tirada. Al Hughes standing on deck. And the 1-2 from Carvajal is hit towards short, fielded by Wyatt Young. A clean throw on to first. And so Tirada is retired once again. He's now 1 for 4, 1 away to begin the 8th.
Yep, so here comes Hal Hughes, who was 0 for 3, looking for his first hit of the day. He's struck out back in the 6th inning, flew out back in the 4th, and then grounded out back in the 2nd.
So Hughes looking to spark something here, as hasn't been too great of a day for the bottom of the order. Outside of Tirada's double, they are a combined 1 for 11. And waved at and missed for strike 1 by Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes has fallen behind in each of his 3 at-bats so far today, but in each of his 3 at-bats, he's been able to bounce back and at least make it a long AB.
The 0-1. Breaking ball, he's got him out in front again, so Carvajal with some pretty good breaking stuff at least to start this outing. He's ahead in the count 0-2. 6-2 righty dangling his arm before coming set. And the 0-2 misses low, a good take there from Hughes.
Yeah, big off-speed pitch trying to get him to chase one down in the dirt, but Hughes lays off, and he's going to look to work yet another count here, getting awfully deep into this one.
Mariners scoring 4 runs on 9 hits so far. YD Red Sox with 1 run on 7. As another off-speed swing and a miss by Hal Hughes. He goes down swinging for the second time in as many at-bats. And with 2 away, that'll bring up Dylan Noisy.
And how about this? The Harwich Mariners have actually stranded 10 runners on base today. They could be up by even more, but a very comfortable 3-run lead here for Harwich, and it'll be the top of the order coming up again here as Dylan Noisy gets his 5th at-bat of the day, still looking for his first time on base.
Noisy with a couple groundouts, couple flyouts, so he's been putting the ball in play but hasn't been able to hit it where they ain't. First pitch misses low for a ball.
And how about this, Colin? The YD Red Sox have stranded a runner on base in all but one of their innings, and in all but 2 of those innings, they've had a runner in scoring position. So they've had a guy on second or third quite often tonight, but haven't been able to bring a few across the score.
Strike is over to even the count 1-1. Noisy, one of a couple of guys at Texas Tech, along with Max Marshak. 2 of the faster guys on the team, so definitely a lot of speed for that Red Raider team this year as a pitch will miss low 2-1.
A team that came up just short of making it to the final game in the College World Series playoffs, but ended up getting bumped in the semifinal round.
Big run for them this year as Noisy turns on one and yanks it foul off to the left.
But a lot of pieces will be coming back to that Texas Tech team, including Marshak and Noisy. So a lot of really good pieces returning for a Texas Tech team that'll be primed to try to make another deep run next year.
Carvajal's 2-2 is hitting the air softly towards the right side, and backing up is Samuelson. He'll make the catch, and it's a clean 1-2-3 8th inning for the YD Red Sox. They look to get some runs back, but they're running out of time. The Mariners lead at 4-1. You're listening to Harwich Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. Jared Weatherby heads out for his 2nd inning of work. I believe this is the first time this year, Tyler, that he's gone 2 innings, but we'll see if he can continue the success he's had over the last couple of innings that he's pitched, his team enjoying a 4-1 lead.
There was one other time where he went 2 innings into a game, but yeah, I know it's been very rare for him this season as he's traditionally been a 1-inning guy, but he's trying to set the table and keep things where they're at for Joe Boyle, who appears to be up and warming here in the Harwich bullpens. The closer would get an opportunity to come in and try to shut the door, but first they got to get through this part of the 8th inning, and it will be Noah Campbell, Jake Palmer, and Riley King pending the traditional Scott Pickler pinch hitters.
So Noah Campbell digs in. He has the lone RBI on the day for the Red Sox, and he swings the first pitch and flares it out towards shallow right. It's going to drop in front of Daniel Cabrera for a leadoff single. So Noah Campbell, one of just 2 guys on the YD Red Sox team with multiple hits, the other one being Austin Wells batting in front of him. So 3 and 4 hitters. A lot of production out of them, and now all of a sudden the tying run moves into the on-deck circle with Jake Palmer at the plate.
And this is the 3rd consecutive inning that YD has been able to get the leadoff runner on base, but so far they haven't advanced anybody beyond 2nd. They'll look to do that here with Jake Palmer up, and He led off the 6th inning, the first of the 3, with a base hit to get things started for the Red Sox back in their half of the 6th.
First pitch swinging is Palmer, and he hits this one out towards left field. Joey Weimer with a good read on it, runs it down for out number 1. So 2 batters and 2 swings so far for YD as they've been really aggressive to start this 8th inning.
Yep, and here comes the only guy who has not reached base yet. It's Riley King, who so far today has flied out all 3 times to Daniel Cabrera out in right field. He's got to be sick and tired of pushing the ball the other way and getting under these pitches.
So King looking to change things up and reach base for the first time and try to keep that line moving with his team down 3. Weatherby a look over at first with Campbell, and he misses low with a fastball. Campbell actually for a while was the leadoff hitter for the YD Red Sox, so wouldn't be surprised to see him in motion with the speed he's got. Six steals on the season for Noah Campbell. The 1-0, up and away.
Yep, and Weatherby going away from the fastball here early in this count at least. We'll see whether he battles back and brings a few more fastballs into the zone, but for the time being, it'll be a 2-0 count here on Riley King.
King came into this game hitting .365. The 2-0 misses low.
Certainly due for a hit. We'll see whether or not the order stays the same, as it will be Tate Samuelson in the on-deck circle, at least for the time being.
And the good news for the YD Red Sox, they have a lot of righties due up, so matchup-wise, looks pretty good against Weatherby. We'll see if Coach Englert might make the move to Boyle as the 3-0 is over for a strike to make it 3-1.
Yeah, and you get the feeling we may see wholesale substitutions if Joe Boyle does come in, try to get a couple of lefties in to face him, although as his time as a closer / reliever, guys haven't fared a whole lot better.
Ground ball up the middle, and that's going to get through for a base hit, so a couple of singles here in the 8th, and all of a sudden the tying run comes to the plate for YD in the form of Tate Samuelson.
Yeah, that other insurance run looks all the more important here as Riley King's able to reach base, and boy, it's another game where the YD Red Sox have hit just on pace with the Harwich Mariners, each team with 9 hits in the game, but they've kind of squandered the opportunities that they've had. So a big chance here in the 8th inning with 1 away and the runner on second to maybe bring one home, but every Harwich insurance run looking more and more important by the minute.
Mariners infield at double play depth, 1 away and 2 on. First pitch to Samuelson is hit hard into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. Campbell will round third. He's heading home. He will score, and moving up to third is Riley King. The throw gets away and goes towards the dugout, so Samuelson will take second, and all of a sudden, the tying run is in scoring position for the YD Red Sox with 1 away.
And the go-ahead run's going to come up to the plate here. It's Andrew Eister. And it will be Andrew Eister, so, man, tying run in scoring position with 1 away, a golden opportunity here for the YD Red Sox. And things are getting very, very scary here for the Harwich Mariners.
That was the 10th hit of the ball game for YD, so they have certainly been seeing the ball pretty well. Samuelson now 2 for 4, and out comes Coach Englert, and we'll have to see if we'll have a pitching change with the tying run in scoring position, and we will. So looks like Joe Boyle might be the move out of the pen, trying to record a 5-out save with this pitching change. We'll take a timeout with it. Score is 4-2. Harwich Mariners. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back to Red Wilson Field. Another new pitcher for the Harwich Mariners. It's going to be the hard-throwing righty, the closer so far this season for Harwich, at least for the most part, generally speaking. And it is the Notre Dame product, Joe Boyle. Boyle comes in throwing just a fastball and a changeup. But boy, has he been effective this season, Tyler.
Yeah, he's been absolutely dynamite. And let's take a look at the biggest thing when it comes to Joe Boyle this season. A .82 ERA for him, and through the 11 innings that he's pitched, he's given up just 2 hits and 2 runs. But, Colin, both of those came during his start, as he was used as a starter against the Wareham Gatemen. So aside from that, when he's pitched as a reliever, he has yet to give up a single run of his own. And he's going to have to remain that streak perfect here, as he will be in some trouble with 1 away and runners at second and third here, one of which on second base represents the tying run.
Both those runners belong to Jared Weatherby, who exits after an inning and a third pitched, giving up 3 hits and walking 1. No strikeouts for him. Pitched a clean 7th, but had a little bit of trouble in the 8th, and we're going to get a pinch hitter. So it's going to be the left-hander, Jack Thomas Wald, who will get an opportunity to try to tie things up for the YD Red Sox. Wald digs in. He's had a couple of at-bats, I believe, against the Harwich Mariners this season. And looking back, he did have a pinch hit opportunity where he grounded into a fielder's choice. He swings at the first pitch and hits it a ton. Out towards right field, and it is gone. A pinch hit, 3-run home run for Jack Thomas Wald, and the YD Red Sox take a 5-4 lead in the 8th.
First pitch, too, and Boyle tried to challenge him with a fastball. He's been doing that all season long, and it's worked for the most part. I mean, he's been able to blow that pitch past a lot of different guys, but boy, Wald was not only waiting for it, he jumped on it and drives that one almost all the way out to the house out in right field. And just like that, the lead is gone here for the Harwich Mariners with 1 swing of the bat.
A 4-run 8th inning has changed the entire outcome of the game, and so all of a sudden, the approach for the 9th might change for the YD Red Sox. They might be able to send their closer out to warm up, but what a swing by Jack Thomas Wald. He got all of that. He knew it immediately, and I think so did Daniel Cabrera out in right field, and Joe Boyle needs to rebound here. The first pitch he throws misses inside, so now Boyle is in line for the losses. He was the one who allowed the go-ahead run. And the 1-0 pitch misses inside, and not sure exactly if it's going to be the scheduled batter in Joseph Hall at the plate, or perhaps another pinch hitter for the YD Red Sox.
Well, trying to figure out who's up at the plate right now for the YD Red Sox, as that's not Eric Tolman.
Right. Whatever it may be, it's a 3-0 count, so Boyle starting to struggle to find the zone now, as Wyatt Young waiting in the on-deck circle, and he might get an opportunity to extend things. In fact, he will, because base is empty and 1 away. He's guaranteed an at-bat. 3-0 from Boyle, misses inside for ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk, so all of a sudden an insurance run on base, as drawing that walk is Joseph Hall. He walks on down to first.
And boy, I don't think Harwich has anybody up in the bullpen right now warming. It looks like it's completely empty out there. So, I mean, I think they kind of expected that they would bring Boyle in and he would just kind of shut things down here, but he's laboring after giving up a 3-run home run, then a 4-pitch walk. He'll have to face the top of the order again as Wyatt Young comes up here.
It's the first home run we've seen at Red Wilson Stadium, Red Wilson Field. I was thinking of Ralph Wilson Stadium, the football stadium. Is the runner going, and into second easily is Hall. But first home run between these two teams at this field this year because of how deep it is. But that ball probably would have been out of every major league stadium. That ball hit by Jack Thomas Wald as he picks up his second home run of the season. Now his 14 RBIs with a 3-run shot. So Joseph Hall steals second and is in scoring position with 1 away. Wyatt Young, the team leader in average at the plate, and he swings and fouls the pitch off. In fact, his elbow guard kind of popped off. That's how hard he swung at that pitch.
Yeah, but Harwich could get this one back, but let's take a look at who's going to be coming up. It's going to be Daniel Cabrera, Nico Cavadas, and Christian Fetko. So the ideal part of the order coming up, but you got to think they don't want to go down by any more than 1 run. That's currently the deficit they sit at right now.
1-1 from Boyle is fouled back yet again.
And again, as a reliever, Boyle hadn't given up a single. He had given up one hit. He had given up 0 runs, and all of that changes with one big-time swing of the bat.
So Boyle looking to rebound. Look over at second at the runner Hall. And he comes home. The 1-2 is a breaking ball missing upstairs to make it 2-2.
A bullpen that had looked at times to be virtually unhittable, featuring 2 arms like Jared Weatherby and Joe Boyle, but both of them struggling here today. And it may have cost Harwich another game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. And changeup catches the outside corner for strike 3, so Wyatt Young goes down looking. And it's a big out number 2 for Joe Boyle and the Mariners.
Yep, and here comes Brad Beasley. They need just 1 more out to get out of the inning and give themselves a chance in the top half of the ninth, as it looked like they needed 6 more outs to get a victory coming into this inning. Now they're going to have to avoid giving YD 3 more outs and closing it out themselves with the bats.
Yeah, it's been a brutal turn of events for the Harwich Mariners in a game that was looking so good through the first few innings, as Brad Beasley fouls off the first pitch to the right.
Raffle numbers at the end of this half inning.
So as you look out towards the bullpen, you wonder if it's going to be Carvajal coming in to try to make the 2 outs save, or actually just secure the win in this situation, as the 1-1 misses low, or perhaps the Red Sox and Coach Scott Pickler will go to another arm, as Taylor Dollard was warming up the start of the inning, but as he actually does continue to throw down in the bullpen. So wouldn't be surprised if Dollard is the one who tries to come in and shut the door. Runner going, the 1-1's in the dirt, and Winkle has trouble securing it, and sliding in very hard is Hall, as he almost lost his balance over at third.
Yeah, he has to kind of come up and almost make a little half save, half hug to his ex-teammate Riley Tirado over there on the third base bag.
So now Hall, an important insurance run 90 feet away from home, and Boyle struggling to find the zone once again as he falls behind 3-1 to Beasley. Austin Wells, who's 3 for 4, waiting in the on-deck circle. Boyle comes set, the 3-1. That misses low for ball 4, so Boyle surrenders his second walk of the inning, and with runners at the corners and 2 away, that will bring up Austin Wells.
Yep, the only guy who hadn't hit this inning, so they have officially batted around here. Wells with a single in the first, a single in the third, a double in the fifth, and then a fly out in the seventh. And here comes Coach Berger to have a word, it looks like, with Joe Boyle.
Coach Berger heads out, and I'm sure this will be a quick conference with darkness fast approaching.
Yeah, the worst thing you can have happen at this point would be to have the game called before this half inning of the ninth is even able to play, but plenty of light still here as the sun begins to set behind us, and should be able to get this in fairly easily.
Also helps that the skies are relatively clear, so no darkness coming from the clouds. That's a big reason why we've seen a lot of cancellations lately. Some of these cloudy days have made the skies prematurely dark. So Coach Berger exits the mound, and see if Boyle can get himself out of the inning with his team trailing by 1.
Home plate umpire making a motion down to the first base ump. Kind of a cancellation symbol, and I'm not sure what that's all about, but we'll see as play will resume here.
I believe it means they're out of mound visits for the inning because Jeff Neiman had visited the mound earlier, but I think that actually might have been last inning, so not entirely sure there, but first pitch is in for a strike to Wells.
I think it was this inning, and it feels like it's been a very long inning that refuses to end here for the Harwich Mariners, as they have given up 3 or 4 runs, 3 of which came on a 3-run bomb from Jack Thomas Wald.
And there's a big swing and a miss by Wells at a pitch at his eye level, and he falls behind 0-2.
We'll see if Boyle goes to the changeup here, one of his favorite strikeout pitches, and may go with that, may go with a challenge fastball.
Wells flew out in his last at-bat, but he hit that ball pretty well out towards Daniel Cabrera and right. 0-2 misses low and outside as Winkle has to pop out of his crouch and prevent that one from going to the backstop.
And again, you go back to that Katuitt game, and you look at the swing that it seemed like that kind of had Harwich was able to bounce back and get the next win against Wareham, but then a loss yesterday against Bourne, and now on the cusp of a loss here against YD.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, that is in there for a called strike 3, so Wells goes down looking. He's not too happy about it, but the side is retired and the damage has been done by the YD Red Sox. They strike 4 times, including a 3-run home run pinch hitting by Jack Thomas Wald. We head to the 9th. It is Yarmouth Dennis 5, Harwich 4. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners YouTube Network.
To the Sea Dog Brew Pub. Cash prize of
So to the 9th we go. The Mariners find themselves trailing 5-4 after a 4-run outburst in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it will be up to the it'll be up to the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Best part of the lineup today for the Mariners, scoring all 4 runs, but Tyler, it's going to be a tall task against Taylor Dollard and the YD Red Sox.
Yep, Cabrera's already come on, and he has been able to reach base twice, as has Cavadas, and Fedko has reached in 3 of his at-bats, so guys that have found their way on. But as you mentioned, it'll be Taylor Dollard coming in here for the YD Red Sox, and Dollard this year putting together an impressive campaign, a 2.13 ERA through 12 innings pitched. He's given up just 7 runs, 3 hits, and how about this, Colin? 21 strikeouts to 1 walk. He has been immaculate out there on the mound today, or this year.
So as of now, Joe Boyle is in line for his 2nd loss of the season after giving up a go-ahead 3-run pinch hit home run to Jack Thomas Wald. Jared Weatherby, book closes on him, giving up 3 earned runs on 3 hits in an inning and a third. And Daniel Cabrera will be tasked to lead things off for the Mariners as they try to fight back in this one against Taylor Dollard. Dollard out of Cal Poly. First pitch to Cabrera is a breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike.
Yeah, that would have been a good one for Cabrera to drive, but wanting to kind of see what Dollard had in store for him. It was an off-speed pitch, and now that he's seen one in the zone, we'll see whether he can square one up with an 0-1 count.
Dollard working from the stretch, the pitch, and Cabrera gets a piece of it and sends it straight back. Cabrera doubled in the first, walked and came around to score in the third, and a couple of ground outs since then. Lefty out of LSU playing some pretty good baseball over the last 5 games. The 0-2. And he's able to foul it off of Austin Wells, and he is limping, not putting much weight on that right foot, but seems like he's all right now. It just kind of stung him a little bit.
Yeah, that one just kind of caught him in a strange spot, so he hops around a little bit, and he'll be okay as the count is 0-2 here on Daniel Cabrera. It's going to have to be a defensive swing here, as Tyler Dollard will be looking to pad onto those strikeout numbers. Looking for strikeout number 22 on the year, and again, he's not going to put a lot of guys on base. He's given up just 1 walk this season. He's also given up 1 home run this season.
Wells back into his crouch. He seems to be all right. Cabrera back into the box. Dollard working from the stretch, the 0-2. And that one will miss outside.
And that's the thing for Harwich. You only need 1 point, or you only need 1 more run to get yourself back here, trailing by 1. So, you know, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be some kind of a 5-run comeback here. Just find a way to put somebody on base and keep the line moving.
Cabrera lays another one off, 2-2, and with Nico Cavadas on base, if Cabrera is able to be the leadoff man on, one swing the bat could give the Mariners the lead right back out of Nico. But for now, it's a 2-2 count to Cabrera. Dollard's pitch is fouled straight back.
So good job just staying in and fighting pitches off here. Daniel Cabrera, it's not the pitch that he wanted, but he knows he's already committed to the swing. He's not going to risk getting called out on a check swing, so he just connects with it and fouls it away to keep the count here at 2-2.
Given the way the 2 through 6 hitters have swung the bat in this one, I would be pretty surprised if we saw any pinch hitters, at least at this point. Another 2-2 from Dollard is hit well out towards right field and deep, but he was a little bit out in front of it as it lands in the Mariners' bullpen in foul territory.
Yeah, that one well in foul territory, although we kind of get our hopes up on any ball hit out to right field. The visiting dugout right there. But after standing up, we can see that ball fall well out of play, and it'll still be a 2-2 count here for Daniel Cabrera.
Dollard comes set once again. Another 2-2. And that's on the inside corner for strike 3, and Cabrera can't believe it. He shrugs and heads back to the dugout, and a big out number 1 for Taylor Dollard and the Red Sox.
Yep, fastball out, and that's pretty much a perfect pitch there. Cabrera may have been off the plate a little bit, but not by much. So here comes Nico Cavadas. Harwich down to their final 2 outs. Trailing by 1 now, following the 3-run home run here in the 9th inning.
Dollard, his first pitch misses way high for ball 1. Cavadas in this one. Couple of strikeouts, but in between, he has walked and singled, coming around to score both times he's reached base in this one. Big thing is to maybe give Joey Weimer a chance later down the line, but he's due up in a couple of batters, so got to get there first as pitch is over for a called strike.
Yeah, it's going to take some time as Fedko's on deck. Ludwig in the hole if it comes down to him, but then it would be Weimer, who's had 4 RBIs in this one. He has driven in every single run for the Mariners.
Dollard's 1-1, and Cavadas way out in front of that one. A good off-speed pitch drops below the knees, and Cavadas is down 1-2.
Yeah, it looked like he may have been sitting on a fastball there, and again, it's got to be about just finding a way to get on base. He's gotten on with no home runs twice today, and he's come around to score both times. So just focus on putting the bat on the ball here and making something happen.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Dollard is really feeling it. He blows a fastball by Cavadas, and it's 2 strikeouts to begin the 9th inning. All comes down to Christian Fedko, who's reached base 3 times in this one.
Yep, the final hope will be Christian Fedko, and can't imagine somebody else he'd rather have at the plate right now. Fedko has been in tough spots all season long, it seems like, fighting things off for the Mariners. He came up with 2 away in the game against Brewster earlier this year, was able to drive in a couple of runs to give Harwich a victory there. He was able to drive in the lone run and a victory earlier this season over the Bourne Braves. Here he digs in with his team trailing by 1.
First pitch he sees, he swings and hits in the air into shallow left, backpedaling is Young. He's able to make the catch. And the YD Red Sox with a come-from-behind victory over the Harwich Mariners. They win this one by a final score of 5-4 in front of their home crowd. We'll be back here at Wilson Field to wrap things up. Once again, final score in this one, YD 5 and the Red Sox, in the Harwich Mariners 4. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners YouTube Network. Back here one last time at Red Wilson Field, Colin Casey alongside Tyler Henry, and the Mariners dropped their second game in a row, and this one in especially heartbreaking fashion. Final score in this one 5-4. The YD Red Sox pick up their 17th victory of the season in a game that, Tyler, it's one of those games where the bullpen's been so strong all season, and all of a sudden that ended up being the downfall in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like Harwich had it kind of in hand the entire game after they were able to take a lead in the third and then kind of pad a few insurance runs onto it. So, Weatherby labored early. He gave up the one run, and then they bring Joe Boyle in, and you think, he's only given up one run out of the pen all season long, but all it took was one pitch and a Jack Thomas Walden. Give him all the credit in the world. He smoked that ball, sent it over the wall, and that was all she wrote for the Mariners, who have now dropped 4 out of 5.
It's never easy to come right off the bench and be able to deliver in the clutch like that. So he was able to send a ball right over the right field fence, and that proved to be the difference maker, that 8th inning blast from Jack Thomas Wald in pinch hitting fashion. So the Mariners, this loss, they fall to 13-17 on the season. YD improves to 17-11-2 as they try to, as for the time being, they actually even things up at the top of the East with Chatham, but of course Chatham still has to play their game tonight, so YD could find themselves in first place with a Chatham loss tonight. Harwich Mariners scored 4 runs on 9 hits, committed 1 error, leaving 9 on base. YD, 5 runs, 11 hits. They did not commit any errors, and they left an even 10 on base. The win in this one goes to Oscar Carvajal. So he pitched a clean 8th inning and ended up being the beneficiary of that Jack Thomas Wald 3-run home run. He improves to 2-0 on the season. Joe Boyle, in the meantime, falls to 1-2 on the year, giving up that 3-run home run. Just the 1 run charged to Boyle, but turned out to be the decisive one. And the save in this one goes to Taylor Dollard, his 5th of the season, as the Cal Poly sophomore continues to have a strong season, now with 5 on the year, and ZRA is bound to dip even further. It's down below 2 at 197. So once again, the Harwich Mariners drop this one on the road at YD by a final score of 5-4. My broadcast partner Tyler Henry, for my producer Matt Lucy, I'm Colin Casey. Thanks for joining us. The Harwich Mariners will be back in action tomorrow at White House Field. Until then, so long everybody, and have a good night.